definitely at
Oh,
this
there we
point,
are.
it feels like
What's up,
he's
Pepperoni?
sabotaging it.
You're getting set up here. I didn't even put the starting screen on. We're just going.
Well,
That's fine. Um,
oh, we fucking go raw sometimes. It's what we do.
nope, no sneeze. Here we are. I feel like, yeah, I feel like they'd be like sabotage in some sort of way, right? You went in there, bought something, and just fucked it all up. There has to
Yeah,
be
it's
something.
one of those things that is it publicly traded? I don't remember.
Yes.
Because if it is publicly traded, then definitely stakeholders should be suing the fuck out of him for tanking the company.
Yeah, it is public.
Yeah, so he should be getting sued to fucking high hell by stakeholders.
Yeah, because if you're out there and
'Cause,
just fuck the entire thing up, then whatever. Oh, he probably has a roster. All right. We'll talk about that for sure then. Oh, we're getting that fall fucking allergy time.
hell yeah. I honestly, it's less severe for me in fall. It's usually spring and summer that kills me.
Summer I'm fine with. Winter I'm fine with. It's fucking spring and fall, which fuck me up. Right. Let's see. Yeah, we got all that. We have enough to talk about. I think we'll be fine.
I mean, luckily the bits of news we have, most of it will go pretty quick. Because let's be honest, most of what was shown at these game conferences were trash. There's only a few good things to talk about from them.
Actually, it probably said let him know he's in the clear. Send it. You can send it, and we'll talk about it today for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yep, yep. All right. Turn out light. Okay. Welcome to the Blue Ridge Podcast, episode number 222. I'm Adrian, and David's here.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
It's our video game podcast. We go live every Tuesday, talk about video games. We do all that stuff. Doing some fighting game talk this episode. You got Pepperoni in the chat right now. Guessing it's the roster, so we can go over that. We'll talk about some of the Unity Fallout stuff because that shit happened like crazy.
Yeah, that was breaking news for us.
Yeah. We're gonna actually it wasn't breaking. It was getting it posted like around noon that time, but it started like bubbling right when we were talking about it. So
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about some of these FTC Microsoft things. Talk about that State of Play and then Nintendo Direct later on. So games gone by. It was gonna happen on Monday. I just wasn't feeling it. I was. If we had gone through there, it would not have been a good talk. So where it for sure happen on this next one. I promise it'll 100 billion% happen on Monday, and then because of that, obviously Resident Evil 7 is gonna push back a week, but it sets everything off a little bit. But everything will line back up just fine, and we still gave ourselves enough wiggle room to have it all fall back. And October works out to be kind of a all right, buddy, come on up here. You want to?
Yeah, October is going to be a loaded month. Speaking of which, where it's been a while since we've discussed games gone by, did we want to quickly go through what we're doing for our next few games?
Yeah. So we're gonna be doing Iron Lung mid October now. We're gonna do Silent Hill at the end of the month. Near Replicant
Yes.
is gonna be in November's game. That's the only game in November, so we're giving ourselves some room to really soak in that game. December is gonna be Her Story in the middle of the month, and at the end of the year, end of December, The Beginner's Guide. Oh my God, Juice, what are you gonna do? Okay, chill. Then January, we're doing Persona, dude.
Hell yeah.
Just in time for Persona 3, going to Persona 5. So let's do it. And after that, we'll start trickling them out again from there. But
yeah,
for now, that's it. It's been a crazy beginning of the year, unfortunately. But everything will get sorted out soon. Everything will start getting posted here. Just give me some time here. All right, dude. You're much too hyper right now. Chill. But yeah. So stay tuned next week on twitch.tv/Games Gone By podcast for our deep dive of FF7. David was gonna we'll touch on it on the FF7 Rebirth trailer, but I would like to keep all talk and speculation up on that that episode proper.
What I will do is I will focus on the things that are directly revealed, but I won't go into speculation territory.
Sure, that's fine. I'm gonna
So
save everything for that.
gotcha. But yeah, so because there's a couple things that are very important to kind of talk about in that trailer that aren't speculation, but just straight up confirm a lot of interesting things.
Okay. But for the deep dive of that, we will talk on that next week. If everybody says, "Man, Nintendo killed last week,"
I mean, they had 2 amazing bangers in there and a couple interesting ones.
I think it's obvious that Switch 2's are on its way. It reeks of we're out of things. But hey, I said this on Twitter, but as an avid GameCube collector who touts how valuable my collection is and is cool about that, I will 1,000,000,000% always prefer that games get out and everyone's hands. So big shout outs to that Thousand Year Door showing up there and not having to be paid $100 to play for people. Fuck yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. I will gladly welcome something that starts to tank the value of my collection if it means it gets in the hand of some more people.
Absolutely.
On more modern platforms.
I'll say this because I'm sure I'll forget my rant by the time I get there, but it's always that thing where Miyamoto's like, he didn't want to do F-Zero because he couldn't think of anything to innovate it, which, okay, I get and I can admire to an extent, but also like my issue with that is that at this point games like Thousand Year Door have been so long ago that they are new ideas to this crew, right? So it's like when you're saying we have to constantly do new things, because I mean the old thing's already out there, yeah, but the old thing, as mentioned, is like $100 to procure legally, which is something that Nintendo's obviously feverish about. So maybe it shouldn't have to be a new thing every time. Maybe the old thing is the new thing, which is something. Anyway, David, what'd you get this week?
Oh, gross! I just fucking what? No, fuck out of here with that refresh. Fuck out of here.
Oh, you just look at
it? I just actually read what that refresh was. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, you didn't see it. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. We'll get to that in a second. We're doing the what we bought thing, right?
Yep. What'd you get?
All right. Where did I fucking put? That's concerning. What did I do with it?
David's done goofed.
Oh, they fell. Well, that's not good. So I have to get new glasses. So these are my new spectacles.
You look like a Harry Potter character.
I mean, I like the octagonal shape to them there, but I needed something that was not scratched to shit, and these have anti-glare and anti-light bullshit to help my astigmatism, and it has made night driving so much more palatable.
I love those pictures of people that just people that are built different like myself have to see with you guys, where it's like, hey, this is how people see lights, and I don't like every time I see that, it's always one person. I mean, you guys don't just see this? Yeah, no, we don't. We just see light like a ball. Like it's really out of the way. We can live life the way we want to.
I wish. It's like a fucking overstretched starfish that's just fucking wanting to choke me.
Yeah, no, that's not a thing. So this week I just wanted to flex on my students just because I'm built different. So they have bad eyesight, and they'll just like they can't see the board next to them. I fucking can't read that. And mine's still popping off. I'm so good. So I go to the back of the classroom. I can read like the front Promethean board in the front, just at regular, not zoomed in text. I can read that. And they're like, "Oh, you knew what you're saying. You just know." I was like, "No, look." I said, I was like one of the boys, like, "Hey, just go up there and type something." He typed, and I was reading it from the back of class. He was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "You're built different too, just wrongly." But yeah, no. That fuck, dude. The segmentism thing, that shit sucks. I bet.
Yeah, it's a fucking nightmare. It was really bad. And part of the reason why I needed to get around to, because I hadn't updated my glasses in like 5 years.
Sure.
Because my vision I'm knock on wood, I'm usually pretty lucky in that my vision doesn't really change that much. Even on this last time around when I went to go get my new prescription, I only changed by a few points. So the optometrist even said like I probably just needed a new pair of glasses. I didn't even really need to change the prescription. But I was like having up to date. But no, with my last pair, the coating on it was so gone that I had no protection against it. And night driving was basically a 50-50 mix up on if I was going to stay on the road or not.
Fuck that.
Because sometimes the lights were so bad that it's like, well, you can't even like it's so bad for me that the starbursting just gets so out of hand that it literally is to the point where like when when you're first learning to drive, a lot of advice people give you is either it's like look at the like sideline on the road, and if you're having issue with the lights, just kind of look at the line. That way you
I've never said someone say to me.
That's a common thing around New England for people to get told.
Okay.
Is to just keep an eye on the sideline and then just follow that along and you'll be fine. Even with doing that, I couldn't see it because the starbursting.
Imagine driving like in Vegas.
Oh, dude, Vegas is a nightmare, right? So yeah, but with this, it's a lot better. I still have some like really bright lights that get starbursty for me. But now I can actually see the road, and I don't feel like it's a coin toss on if I'm gonna die while driving at night anymore. So it's wonderful.
Nice.
As for real purchases, one of my pre-orders came in that I forgot about this game, but I'm so glad it came in because I'm so excited to get to play this eventually. Baron Breakfast.
It's all right.
It's all right. It's only all right.
Yeah.
The fuck you mean it's only all right?
It's only all right.
That's disappointing.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear that.
I'm sorry. I had to break it to you before you got to it.
Oh, that sucks. I was really like, I'll make up my own mind.
I got it
we'll
on Steam
see.
Deck. I messed around with it. It was okay. I'm sure I'll like it more
got
deeper
this.
into it, but it's not the best one.
Fair. Got this for $1. Frontline Fuels of War physical for PC. Again, slowly getting that digital collection to have a physical representation. Now I got a fat stack of stuff over here. I finally got off my lazy ass and sold a lot of my duplicate games and duplicate movies as I've been getting stuff back to being in complete in box and upgraded my collection of Blu-rays. So I got a hearty amount of cash. So I decided to fill in a little bit of gaps. Most of it's 360 stuff because trying to get that, well, a lot of it's still cheap. But for some DS action, we got Elite Force Unit 77.
Avery said, "Did that man dirty?" My bad.
Then we got again the detective visual novel there.
Is that good?
I've heard good things about it. On PlayStation 2, we got some Tribes. Then I got 2 other ones on PlayStation 2, but I just put them over there because they're just replacing things I already had. But then for filling in the gaps of my collection, I really hate the condition of this case. I might spend some time trying to clean it up more. But for original Xbox, we got Battle Engine Aquilia. Neat little novelty game. And then for filling in my 360 collection for things I was missing, Fable 2, 2 Human, Crackdown, Perfect Dark Zero, the Xbox Live Arcade Unplugged.
Those things were so cool.
I'm actually impressed with how many there are. I think there's like 5 of them, maybe 6.
Are there
of all kinds of different? Yeah, there's actually quite a few because other companies did them as well. Konami did 2 packs that were like that.
Oh, yeah.
Capcom did.
But in terms of those ones, I think there were only like 2, maybe.
Yeah, I think there's like 3 or 4 of these.
I don't even think 4. I think 3 tops, maybe.
Because I have one of the other ones, and there's this one, and I think there is like another one at the very least, at least 3. And then Konami did a couple like that. Capcom did a few like that. I'm trying to get all of those too because those are the only way again to get some of the digital only games. Like Trials, I have the one that's like the Trials HD, the Splosion Man,
and Limbo, I think.
Yeah,
that's a good disc to have.
it is a good disc to have. Then we got some Rise of Nightmares.
Hell yeah, I want to play that one.
For the longest time, it was like the only Kinect game people cared about. And then lastly, pleasant little surprise to find a My Neck of the Woods complete in box. And that is Akai Katana. Fun little shmup. And so that was actually probably the most expensive. Yeah, easily actually for the 360 stuff. I think that was like 34. But yeah, so filling in some of the 360 collection a bit there. I still have like 90 some odd games I still need to finish getting for the Xbox. Hoping to honestly fill in that collection before the store closes down next year because I expect it to just be a nightmare.
Yep. Didn't get anything.
Hell yeah.
I bought some digital stuff. What did I get? I'm trying to think offhand. Let's check. Oh, I guess I got Mortal Kombat. That's now unlocked. I should probably open up Steam and go download that in the meanwhile.
Shout outs to poor tournament organizers having to fucking go through that hellscape.
Is it bad?
One tournament organizer, Alex Shabali there, has gotten it down to where it takes them just shy of 3 hours to unlock everything.
Yeah, unlocking characters is fun. I feel like it should be an option at some point. Just like, dude, tournament, even if you want to be anal about it, it should be like a tournament mode where it's like a temporary, like the next time you turn the game off, or I don't know. I'm like,
or don't lock the save files down because that's the big issue. Is save files are locked to your purchased account.
I just think it shouldn't fucking matter at all. I think you should just have the fucking game. God damn it! I need to clear some memory. 95 gigs. Oh, this shit sucks. I hate this. What else did I get? There's some cheap shit. Shoutouts to Kairosoft. So game dev stuff went on Unity sale because they were just trying to sell some copies for all that. Yeah. Anyway, Dave, what did you play this week?
Hell yeah. I have actually been playing two things predominantly this week. One, I've actually put in quite a bit of time, air quotes I'm going to put around that, into Ever Crisis.
Okay.
I don't normally do mobile gaming, and I especially don't usually do gacha gaming. It's a novelty. It's kind of one of those things that I appreciate the added story element. So what they've done is there's 3 primary storylines that you can play through. And it's basically for Final Fantasy VII, it's to the end of leaving Midgar.
Okay.
Then they have a little bit of Crisis Core, which it's really basically just like the first real mission where it ends in Crisis Core. So basically after the tutorial of it. And then they added in story for First Soldier, the very failed fucking shooter that they shut down.
Did actually, I forget, did it actually shut down?
Yes, they did shut that down.
Rip.
Which, again, I gotta big props to fucking Square Enix's weird expectations. The same day they put out a 50 million download celebration event in the game, Square Enix corporate was talking about what a disappointment this game was and how it's not meeting expectations.
I need Square to man the fuck up and figure out what they're doing with shit because it's getting pretty shitty that there's like, oh, we're just not doing good. Well, then manage your expectations because that shit's kind of wild.
In what world is 50 million downloads not doing good? Like, that's fucking wild to me.
It's unfortunate that the developers are the ones getting the heat for that too.
Yeah. But so they throw in like a whole new story for First Soldier. And it's interesting because we're following along pre everything in Final Fantasy VII, essentially. Even the other stuff that was like prequel material, like before
So
Crisis and Crisis Core.
give me, and I'm trying to save all this talk for the actual games, but give me the actual like what are the 7 games and what's essential in it? What's it like I should need that's the juicy shit.
Okay, so if you just want the 7 experience, you just play Final Fantasy VII. If you want to go into what's referred to as the compendium of 7, then what you need to do is you first play Final Fantasy VII. Then
And
you
die.
watch Advent Children. Yes. Then you watch Advent Children AC.
Which actually I forgot.
Then
I don't know. I forget if I ever showed. I have Advent Children, so I should watch it afterwards, right?
yes,
Okay, so I'll do that before
Advent
Games Gone
Children
By
takes
as
place
well.
like 2 years after.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll do that for Games Gone By. Which
Perfect.
I've also heard watching the Maximilian dude reaction that the Sephiroth reveal was just Advent Children.
Yes. So Advent Children AC. Then you read the wiki of what happened in Before Crisis BC. And the reason why you have to read the wiki on what happened in that is because that was a Java-based cell phone game that never came to stateside. So, and there was like a fan translation that you could find in the early days of when it was relevant, but I think a lot of that's been lost to time. A lot of that will eventually be making its way to Ever Crisis, but it's not there yet. So you read a wiki on what happened in that. Then after Before Crisis, you play Crisis Core CC. Then after
So I can't even play Crisis Core without having done that.
That's just the order. So timeline-wise, it essentially goes Ever Crisis is at the very beginning of the timeline.
Okay.
Then Before Crisis. Then Crisis Core.
But I don't need to read Before Crisis to play Crisis Core, but I should, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a quick read. It'll take you like 10 minutes to go through it all.
Okay. I forget. I have that too. It's like, how long is that game?
Your audio's breaking out.
Oh shit! Hold on.
What was the question?
I forgot that I have Crisis Core. How long is that?
If you speed through just doing the main story, like 20 hours.
Yeah, it's not happening. Okay. Interesting. I feel like part of me wants to have that full thing because then what were we talking? So sorry, continue. So now you got
Yeah, no worries.
Now you got Crisis Core.
So then timeline wise, Ever Crisis, Before Crisis, Crisis Core, 7, Advent Children, Dirge of Cerberus.
Yeah, so what's this Dirge of Cerberus thing? I think I have that too, right? I forget if I sold that or not.
Dirge of Cerberus is a third-person shooter starring Vincent Valentine, and it basically is the epilogue to 7's story.
Okay.
Through predominantly Vincent's eyes. In Final Fantasy VII Remake, did you do the DLC stuff?
Yeah, the Intergrade? No.
Okay. So that what I'm about to say doesn't matter to you then, but a lot of the stuff that's in Intergrade is all stuff that's part of Dirge of Cerberus.
Yeah, so this timeline's fucked. Because, like, again, I would like to skip past this real quick, but the one thing I'll just implement is, like, having played, and even just, like, not even that far out of it, you could see how fucked up everything is and how, like, it's weird. I'm a little iffy on it, because, like, I'm going to go back and play Remake again. I want to get through Intergrade for sure, but yeah, I'm going to do all that before we get the Rebirth, which I hope we could do another spoiler cast on that. That'd be fun.
I think it'd be fun to do it after, because we had the first conversation with you just being like, I don't know, this is just my only experience with it. And it's like, no, you don't understand. There's so many weird things about how this is set up, and now you have the context.
Yeah, and I just hope there's a rhyme or reason to it, because it feels a little bit too jam-packed in the front. Because it's like you threw all the stuff that we got coming up way in here. I hope you're not just doing that to, like, I don't know, sedate fans or anything too, right? Because it's like they could have like not had intergrade. It would been fine, and I think that was enough for them to be like, oh, that's interesting. But like even like Kite Sith in there at the very end, you're like, I get that it's cool, but it's like, hey, what the fuck are you doing here? Well, I mean, we know, but like, what are you doing
I
here?
mean, well, to be fair, he kind of have a little cameo before in Midgar as well in the original.
Okay,
It's just you found him in a different place. In original 7, you can find him in the Honeybee Inn.
okay, I wouldn't have noticed because I probably would have skimmed past. That's probably one of the things you notice on replay. But yeah, no, but in general, that's kind of my
Yeah.
like Yuffie even, right? Like I get everyone has their own thing, sure, but do we just I hope there's a rhyme or reason to it, and it's not just front loading it just to like sedate fans. I hope there's a reason because it feels like you're almost front loading all the cool stuff here. Leave some stuff that we still want coming forward, right? Which there's a lot.
It's funny
There's still a
because
lot.
true. It's funny because current me is saying you're right to pass you when you're like, just let them cook. I mean, things are different, but who knows where it's gonna be? And I was so angry with how remake ended, and all of that nonsense. And now present me with what we have seen of this trailer alone, I'm like, oh, I get it now.
So
And,
you think your thoughts as to what's happening and why are following a long trend here.
Yes, if I'm right, and we'll get into like the deep speculation of that next week. But if I'm right on my thoughts on a lot of this, then I very much see what they're doing, and if it's correct, fucking bravo. All right, fair enough.
Okay. Kel's in the chat. What up? What up?
Hell yeah.
Ahero says I usually watch lore videos so I can get lore of certain games. Yeah, and I'll come back to that comment when I talk about what I'm playing. And then Kel says I have an idea where things are going too. I feel like I'm vibing with Dave on it. I think it's gonna be a good talk on Monday.
Agreed.
And you know what?
And so, yo, go ahead.
Oh, never mind. No, go ahead. You're good.
I was gonna say, and just to kind of finish up some thoughts on Ever Crisis. I mean, if you play gotcha style games, it's the same formula. The extra story is kind of nice. It's interesting what they chose to present and what they chose not to present. So, like, even the Final Fantasy VII story that they give you is a really hyper condensed thing, and it goes into one of the detriments, honestly, of playing this game, is that they don't have many unique assets in the game. There's very little, so a lot of the same enemies you fight over and over again, and you fight a lot of enemies in areas they weren't in the original games, just because it's the assets they have currently. And it shows really even more so in like some of the boss fights. Like anytime you come against the Turks, it's only always just Reno. Rude is never involved at all in it, which is kind of sad to see. But it's a fine little telling. I'll go into more detail of some of the exact story bits when we talk next week. But the secondary element to the game for storyline stuff is they have character specific chapters. So you have like the whole condensed telling of key moments from 7 and Crisis Core, plus the new storyline for First Soldier in there. And then you have like character story elements where you go through Cloud's past a little bit. So there's actually a little gameplay section that is right after what happened with him and Zack, leading right into him getting into Midgar and bumping into Tifa again for the first time. And that whole exchange and really just fleshing out those kind of small elements of just little bits of information we've always had to kind of infer the details on. And it kind of answers some of the odd questions of like, why Tifa wouldn't just immediately question certain things that are different about Cloud. And it fills in some of that information gap.
Do you think all that was intended?
Yes. Because I think the idea of how it's presented in original 7 is very much, she knew from the beginning something was off, but they were childhood friends. There's been a bit of distance. She just kind of probably was like, I'm going to just let him kind of do his own thing. especially as the story progresses and she does finally get that moment where she calls him out. I'm like, bro, you've been saying a lot of shit, but that's not how it all actually went down. And then having that kind of realization, and then what happens in Medial of the memory reconstruction. Oh my god, so great to actually.
We'll talk. Yeah, we'll talk about it Monday. Let's save it because we're gonna deep dive that.
Yeah. But yeah, so I would say that if you're really wanting some extra lore, just watch someone's videos on it. As a gacha game, I'm almost at the point where I'm running out of all my resources for the free shit. And yeah, it's I don't know. Granted, I know I'm not a mobile gamer. I'm not a gacha gamer, so I don't have an inkling towards this style of game. But I wanted to at least experience the initial launch of it, just to kind of see. But I think going forward, once I'm done all the initial launch content, I'll probably drop the game and just look up the videos as they come out.
Sure. Kel said, "I'm kind of confused with how they're doing Vincent now too."
Well, that's interesting because that goes into one of the things that Nomura confirmed after that trailer dropped. And is actually one of the things I want to comment on when we get there. But it's interesting.
Yeah.
So, lastly, the only other thing I've been playing is I started up Resident Evil. I started up Resident Evil 7, and I immediately remembered why I put the game fucking down when I first bought it and didn't want to play it.
Which was...
I fucking hate the stupid, shitty hide-and-seek bullshit in horror games.
You'd hate Outlast, huh?
Probably. Like, we'll get into it in more depth.
Are you talking about
the Resident Evil episode? The shit with the father.
The dinner table?
Even that's throughout the whole game, my guy.
Yeah, I'm saying, but was it the initial part that you were not into?
Yeah, and then I am now
Did you keep losing
3 hours into it. Huh?
Did you keep losing at it or no?
No, it's just a waste of time.
Okay,
I hate it because it's like, oh, all right, I need to wait for him to stop being the Eric's. I need to go that way. Let me run to the safe room. Let me sit. 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm gonna go out. Fuck, he's still there. Turn around, back to the safe room.
So you didn't like Resident Evil 2 when they did that?
I didn't play the 2 remake.
Okay, because I thought it was kind of fun when you're going through that, because sometimes it's just like you leave. Nope, fuck, he's right there. You had to wait for a second to see if he gets it. I don't mind that. 7, I remember though. I talked to Gore about that, where it's like I played 7. I was like, do I have to actively wait? Because I'm patient enough in stealth games where I'll wait it out, but And I think the intention was no, you just have to go. He's gonna probably see you at some point, but you're fine. Just run it out and you're good. Which that mechanically doesn't make sense to me. I feel like if you're gonna encourage sneaking, you'd be able to sneak all the way without having it caught. But
you can. It's just the AI is not great. Because I also had one weird moment where I got into a room that he's not supposed to be able to get into, but he glitched into the door as I was closing it behind me. And then he just slowly made his way inside anyways. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm using a healing item when I don't want to now. But, I mean, the puzzles are fun.
Let's say talk, yeah.
Yeah, well, just high level my experience, that is why I now remember I didn't want to play the game when it came out, is because I was so sick of fucking horror games at the time, just having hide-and-seek bullshit.
Sure.
Because that's not survival horror to me. That is just the flavor of the month gameplay mechanic that everyone wanted to do because one game did it successfully, and then everyone decided we need to have that because that's the successful thing. Otherwise than that, I mean, I'm enjoying the story. The story's fantastic. I'm really getting into the lore of it all. I like the environmental storytelling. I'm enjoying the puzzles. Everything else about it feels like a really solid Resident Evil game. Just that one major overlooming mechanic just makes me really hate fucking... And I can't even call it playing the game because it's just sitting there waiting to be able to play the game. RE7 has one of my favorite moments of getting the shotgun. Yes, the sequence of that and how you have to figure that out is really fucking fun. That's where I just left off on, is I just got the shotgun.
Cool. Don't show me. Don't tell me. Excited.
Yeah, I won't say anything, but the puzzle solving involved with it is really fucking rewarding when you figure it out.
Cool. Anything else?
But yeah, so that's no, that's all I've been playing is those two things really.
Nice. So, like I mentioned, we went through Gone Home for class. Today started up Edith Finch. Um, I we had to get observed. And this is, let me go back to that comment. Oh, the lore videos. So, I'll go back to that really quick. So, lore videos. I like watching the explanation videos for some of these for the students because it encourages them the next time to be thorough about it. So, um, we played PT last year, and I have a lot of the same students too this time, so it's cool because I can kind of just like I can test them again with my same lessons, which I kind of feel like is actually not a bad idea. Where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give you the same lesson as last time. You probably forgot a lot of the context of it, and maybe you forgot a lot of it. Cool, do it again, but you'll remember bits and pieces of it, which mean that I don't have to worry about you understanding the main context, and we can delve deeper into it. So it works out.
Yeah.
But so like we watched PT and they got through it. That and my initial lesson was looking at background details. They kind of got it, but didn't a little bit. Like it worked. It didn't. There was some ways they could have refined it a little bit, which is cool. This year started up again, and I used Gone Home as the Gone Home and the lore video as bait, essentially. So they got through the game. They were into it, and if you ever played Gone Home, you know it very much makes it feel like it's gonna be a horror game, but it's not. But they gone through it, and they miss a lot of details, especially when I put the lore video of the people that dissect the fuck out of those games, and they get like a 20-minute dense video of everything that Gone Home is, which if you didn't play it and were like extremely thorough with it and catch everything, you miss a lot. And I quizzed them a bit on it. I'm like, all right, so what did you guys, like, before I quiz them, I'm like, what did you guys catch? What were the issues here? What was going on with this? Then they watch a video, and I tested different ways with both classes, and one way worked so well that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna run with this, which is let them have a discussion as a group, figure it out, and then run it through with the next game. Because now they were a bit frustrated themselves now that they didn't catch all those details. They're like, oh, we should have been able to find that. We and there a lot of them. It's mostly boys in there, and they got kind of excited playing, so they get talkative and they miss some voice dialogue or stuff going on. So they're like, all right, cool. So now I know instead of play through this game and we're gonna spend 2-3 hours on, maybe I should pay attention a little more and like be thorough and hey, look at that thing, look at that thing, look at that thing. And the way I focused it was I got home a lot. I and we've mentioned this plenty of times. Edith Finch, I think, is like S tier of like the walking sims and story in general. So I'm like, as much as I like, I still gave Gone Home. We're gonna actually go back to it too and do some more dissecting of it, but with the idea of Edith Finch there. But with like, I'm gonna toss Gone Home out there. That'll be kind of like the all right, get it out there, realize how you're doing things wrong. All right, Edith Finch, put some respect on that name because we want to go through this and really dissect the fuck out of that because it's worthy of it. It's so well worth and very gratifying when you get the bits pieces of it. So shouts to Hey Listen Games. The people they do the video game courses. I've been kind of riffing off that, doing, and like I said, I like to do that. I like to do it with my own spin on it to do that. So like that's how I'm doing their Kel says the kind of the way I think about it is deprogramming Zoomer brains. I have to repurpose the way they do it. I kind of cut some stuff out, add some things in, but it works. But I say all that because this year finally, which may or may not be my last year teaching English, I was like, all right, is there ever gonna be a time in doing this? Let's throw this lesson out because I've been wanting to do it for the 2 years before I've been doing this, but I just didn't really have the foothold or feel like I felt confident in it. So I was like, all right, let's throw it out there and let's do it. So I printed out a bunch of their actual worksheets. I walked them through things. I said, all right, we're gonna do this. Let's knock it out. And we got observed by this. I don't know what it is, honestly. I'm not even gonna dive into that, but it's just been frustrating because we've had a hell of a year at work, and I'm just like trying to live, and I'm like I'd rather not have other nonsense, whatever they want to call it. I'm not even trying to like disparage that, but just like I just don't want other things outside of it. I just want to come back to focusing on it. Whatever. If it's going for the better of everyone, I don't mind it. But still, that's where I'm at. But we had that, and they came in and observed every single teacher, and they really encouraged, not require, but everyone's like, they're not requiring, but you should do it. Have lesson plans printed, and they're gonna come in and they can walk in, give them a lesson plan. I'm like, all right, okay. So luckily they came in right when I'm in the middle of this lesson, so I printed out their lesson plan that they had on their website. I was like, cool, boom, here you go. And we're walking it through, and they were in my and out of my class in like 5 minutes because we just started Edith Finch, and you could tell the kids were like into it because it was a class of like 8 or 9, and they were just like quiet, just like really soaking in that intro scene. Um, and then they realized like, okay, cool, we're not gonna, because I guess my other coworker came in and said, did they ask your class a lot of questions and this and that? I'm like, nope, he just came, sat down for 5 minutes, and dipped out because I think he realized you can't be asked questions while the room was dark and everyone's like trying to watch something, so that works out.
Perfect.
Side note, episode 222. This is, um, so my classroom was fucking freezing in the morning. I fucking hated. My classroom was 55 degrees this morning, and it's still
That sounds amazing.
yeah. Well, not when you're not quite adjusted for it yet. So, we've had issues with our classroom ACs not working. So they were like classrooms were in the 90s for a while, but my classroom was one of the opposite ones. So it was nice at first. Now it's fucking cold. So I like carried 2 of my space heaters in, and one of them I was like, please work, just fucking work, because it keeps knocking out the electricity, which is a hassle because I have to get the custodian come in and reset the breaker for my room. And it happened last year. I'm like, all right, let me swap it to the other side of the room. It was on for half an hour. I plugged in something in, and then like 2 seconds later, it turned off. I'm like, all right, okay, maybe it's because I plugged something in. Maybe that's it. Tried again today and didn't. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. So we're just gonna bring sweaters in because the kids are freezing. But yeah, anyway, going through Edith Finch. I had to compare the moods. I'm like, all right, let's compare moods. Let's talk about how what everything is different. They're like, oh, it looks, because Gone Home is you're in a house all alone at 1 o'clock in the morning. It's dark and stormy in this, and they're like, oh, look, it's like you're on a ship, and then it's like foresty. You see a moose at the beginning. They're like, okay, it's less dire and grim. And then and then I was like, all right, let's read. I made them the last I had them read a review from Polygon or something. It's a Polygon or IGN, and then the review was like, yeah, there's a lot of death. It's all death. It's all heartbreak and crying and kind of like in a suite, and you care about the family, and they're like, oh, everyone dies. Like everyone dies. And then we play with we go through with Molly, and they're like, wait, so what happened? I was like, so what happened? Let's digest it. And then I was like, and so I was like, wait, did that kid die? The kid's dead. They're like, oh,
Kid's dead, bro.
yeah. They're like, oh, and I'm like, everyone you will read about, they are dead. And then when you pause, you see the family tree. It's like, let's go over the family tree. This kid was 10, 13, 11. Yeah. Oh, look, that kid's 1.
Oh, that one still fucking hurts so bad.
So we got through Molly, Calvin, and Barbara's story. And it's funny because they've all been, so I've been hyping them up for Edith Finch because actually, like, my first wave of, and I tell them, I'm like, my first wave of seniors 2 years ago were like begging me to do this game, and I wanted to, but we just didn't have the time. I just didn't really know how to like integrate it as best as I could because I was still kind of getting my foothold, like I said. And while we did games, I didn't do one on that caliber because I just wasn't comfortable with whatever I was doing yet. And then last year they were more want to do Night in the Woods last year, but that's longer, and I was like, I'm not ready. But I was like, anyone ever heard of this? Everyone said no. Perfect. I was like, trust me on this. Gone Home is your starter. Edith Finch is really good. You guys will like this. Just give it a chance. It's a game, but just give it a chance. And it was funny because we got one of them. We were playing through the Molly thing. I hear one of them in the other side of the room. Wait, I think I've heard of this game, and I just remember there was this kid swinging, and I was in the back of my head. I'm like, And then sure enough, there's the scene like And like maybe like 20 minutes later, like up their scene, and I was like, "There you go, dude. There's your scene." And then, swoosh, and then they still don't believe it. Like they're just like, because it's dark. Like you don't. It doesn't give off that vibe of it. Like I said, like the beginning's pretty peaceful and serene and like kind of majestic. And then when you look at the house, it looks so fantastical with how weird it looks. But it's
Yeah.
dark. Like what happened to that kid? He just wanted to swing the whole way around, and he unfortunately was on the side of a ledge. Whoops. Oh, what happened to Barbara? I don't know what happened to Barbara. There are multiple theories on that. Did she get eaten? That's one theory. You're like Miss Fizzle, but you're taking the kids on existential crisis into present episodes, so that's so cool. Um, yeah, I mean, unironically, like, yeah, we got to go through some of that. I think the kids like to mention that we kind of go through like a therapy session where I'm like their counselor for a lot of things. Like, hey, this thing's going on. I'm like, all right, let's talk it out. The first things first. The one thing I always say, I'm like, none of this matters. I forget if I talked about this on the podcast. I've been talking about this with some coworkers. They talk about the you take away what matters in class or no?
No.
I might have. Stop me if it sounds familiar. Um, when I was being proposed to take the film stuff to drop like from all full time English special ed to drop to do some film, I had this. I don't want to call it like an ego thing, but it did kind of feel like, yeah, but like special ed's like something that's so hard around the country. We're struggling in that. Our state's struggling in that. If I can help in this, I would like to help that in the best way possible, and that'd be good because they need to learn all that. And I was like, I don't know if I want to take the film. And my coworkers, multiple of them were like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, take this thing. Like, you're gonna like it, and this is an opportunity you will not have presented to you often, if ever again, to like start something from scratch and all on your own thought process, and you could build it up to however big and whatever you want if it's successful. Like that's an opportunity you're getting as a third year teacher. Take it now. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. They're like, shut the fuck up, take it. Like, I don't know. But I think the epiphany I had was that, do we need to learn some lessons? Yeah, like we'll need to learn some basic stuff, like very core basics. I could tell you a squared b squared equals c squared. I can't. Doesn't matter. I'm not gonna use it, but I can tell you a couple things, sure. But
Yeah.
I think the basics all happen regardless. Hopefully, right? Knock on wood. But when you think back to high school, a lot of the stuff that sticks with you is really the relationships and interesting side stuff you did. And even when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, even electives were the ones that stood out to me more than even just like the core curriculum, right? So I'm like, maybe I'm overemphasizing how much core curriculum I can do, especially because it's English and I can just run that stuff in film. That kind of coincide. That's fine. But I just need to turn my brain off from that and just be like, all right, just be there for the students and they'll listen, and you can kind of just shove in whatever lesson you want and manipulate it to that way, which is cool, right? So like in the grand scheme of things, right? So without saying a lot, something happened recently where we had to detour a lot. We had to we had to like segue so much of the lessons to do other stuff to figure out for something that was pretty rough that happened. And a lot of students came in and they were not in the best spot. Cool. So what do I do? Do I do lesson and keep going? No, I'm like, let's focus this in a way that, in the nice way, in another word I can't think of it, manipulate the situation to like help you and still do my job. So it was like, hey, I had some students that are like brain shut down. I give them each like a 10 to much longer talk. Of one student I had a massive long, like hours long talk with, but like if I can section you away from the class, talk for like 10 15 minutes, cool, give that pep talk. And then if I can manipulate it to be like, hey, write. They may not like writing, but I'm like, maybe that's a good way for you to vent everything off, and sure enough they write and it's cool. Then I can like read it and critique it and do that stuff. I mean, we can talk about that too, right? So
Yeah.
I found that my approach towards school is less direct instruction and more manipulating the report. And I see manipulating as if like I don't give a shit. It's still a care, but it's still formulating the entire like thing to
That particular bond.
it's the bond, but it's like David and I know how to finesse a situation where it's best on all parties, right? So it's
Yeah.
like I say manipulating, but I'm saying more like how can I make it so that because there's a lot of legalese around education, right? So it's like how can I make it so
Yes.
that like you have the day that you want, I get what I need, and no one bothers us about it, right? Because it's like ultimately your well-being is the best, but if let's say, and this doesn't happen in my school, but let's just say an administrator walks in and says, hey, why aren't you doing this instruction? Because that's what they would do, right? Why aren't you doing this instruction? You got to do all that stuff. Hey, the kid's doing this. Cool. Done. Don't bother us. Right? So it's like I say manipulate the situation to be like, all right, you're learning, but that way people stay off of you and we're just good. It's like our way of like kind of like what's the way we can like maneuver our way around the situation, right? And so the same thing, and that kind of approach goes towards games too. It's like, how can I do something that you like to do, that I like to do, and whenever they walk in, now literally like I've had and I hope they're gonna have to talk. They had to talk after I left, so I'm like I don't know what they'll say. Let's see if they said anything. But how do we have that talk to be like, all right, now they come in and be like, okay, well they're playing games, but they know what they're doing, so we're not gonna bother them, right? So now it's like we'll see how that looks, because I mean I that could go either way. I've been thinking about it for a couple hours. I'm like, I wonder if 5 minutes was good or not. 5 minutes was like maybe I like to think of like maybe it's because like we were just like doing our own thing, so they didn't want to bother us. But I'm like maybe I try my best to like sound as English teachery and book wise as possible. So I was like when we're playing through, I'm like, all right, let's compare and contrast this game with this game. What was the setting? What was this? And like really like moving with that, which I hope more people do, because again, I don't like that English is literally just text.
Agreed.
We don't even books aren't even the most consumed thing for our generation. It's like it's something else. So it's like maybe we should teach it that way then, right? So
Yeah.
but I digress. That's where my tangent went on. So yeah, Edith Finch is fantastic, and I'm actually super excited to see how they handle the fish thing, because it's a very mature and kind of intense thing, and I'm not quite sure if my class is the good one for that. I would love to test the film kits with it to see if they like that, but that I don't really have time for that. But yeah, because once you get to that one, it's like everything this wrecks shit, dude. 'Cause that was your favorite one, right?
Yeah. Of the walking simulators, yeah.
No, of the vignettes of the Finch family.
Oh, yes. Barbara was the one that made me start to take the game seriously.
Which one was the one that got you, though?
Oh. The one with little Charlie fucking hurt. But the one with the brother is the one where I zoned out and was very much in rhythm with the game.
Mm-hmm. It's fantastic. I love storytelling in that aspect. It's crazy what you can do with that.
Which I actually learned real quick on that last note.
Yeah.
I did learn something. Shout outs to my other podcast, Pocket Trainwreck, that I do with my lovely partner. When we were doing our episode of Edith Finch on that, found out something that actually ties in a interesting but also kind of removing the poignant thing about it. Do you remember the story of the younger brother of Edith? That basically got like lost in his art.
Walter?
Yes.
Maybe.
Apparently he did actually get lost in his art because he's
oh
in the
yeah,
other
you didn't know that?
game.
Yeah, you didn't know that connection?
No.
Yeah, that's cool.
I didn't know that connection until I was looking into it. Then I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat, but like it kind of ruins the vibe of everything else.
I mean, you can connect it all you want. It's fine.
Fair. But yeah, so that was a thing I did not realize until just recently.
Yeah, it's still a little cool tidbit, even if it's a little weird and wonky. Um, cool. So let's talk news.
Let's talk nudes.
Let's do this just stay and play thing.
Yes, because there was not much interesting in State of Play.
I'll be honest, I didn't watch it. I skimmed through it.
Uh,
I skipped past the PSVR 2. I don't care. I don't. I'm a little bit tapped out on expensive VR. I'm not
yeah,
inclined to spend $550 in general, nor am I wanting to put that towards the VR right now. But so because I'm not even gonna. I'm good. Was there anything out there that you cared about?
real quick, just to highlight what was shown off. The conference started in like the most worst way possible. So I watched these back to back, and I watched the State of Play after the Nintendo conference. So going after the final reveals of what was shown off at Nintendo into how this one started, which was the trailer for Baby Steps, was a gross fucking way to start this one.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess if you're a fan of Get Over It and QWOP, Baby Steps, I'm sure could be interesting. But it looked dumb as fuck to me. We have Splatoon at Home, Foam Stars was shown off more. Honkai Star Rail's getting a console release. We got Avatar Frontiers. Don't give a fuck. Helldivers 2 weirdly got like an extended gameplay look. I mean, I'm excited. It looks like kind of looks like more like Iron Rain for EDF of the more kind of realistic style. The new metallic colors for the PlayStation controllers and the skins. I really actually want that silver one. That silver one looks fucking clean.
Was there a silver
Tales
one?
of Arise.
Wait, silver like faceplate?
Yes.
Sick. I'm bummed out I didn't get the Spider-Man one. Fucking make more. I don't know why this is why there's gotta be a limited edition. Who the fuck cares? Make more. I do want to
Because we only want to make FOMO money. We don't want to make consistent money.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what they're gonna make is no money because I would just buy a third party one if I gave a shit because the third party one's a cooler. TBH. I would just
Also, you can get third party ones with fans in them. Like eventually, I do want to get like the D brand ones that have the fans.
Yeah, that's
built
what I'm
in.
talking about. Because some of my
Yeah.
students were like, "Yeah, I want to get the faceplate." I'm like, "Sorry, it's already out." They're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah." I looked. They're gone in literally about 25 seconds. But yeah, I might just look at the D brand one because they also look cooler. And I'm like, I would have bought
Yes.
I would have bought a Sony one, but there's not enough. Cool, so I'll just buy a D brand one, and they look cooler. And they do have that extra spot for you to clear out the vent because that shit overheats.
Yes, it does, as we learned from Evo with shit melting fucking USB ports.
Shout outs. What else?
Tales of Arise is getting DLC.
Which-
Resident Evil. Oh, good.
Big shout outs. I know I was looking through impressions. That was one of the big ones for people. I know people really like to Rise. Happy you guys get something good shit.
Hell yeah. I've never been like huge into the Tales series, but Arise did look really good. Maybe one day I'll play it. Aside from that, oh, this rundown doesn't even have all the announcements from it. It's missing a few. They showed off a new Saga game, which honestly, the new Saga game looks fucking great. I like the 17 different kind of story paths that it can go down and cross and interweave with the other characters. It looks really interesting, and the cast of characters they have for it, kind of neat.
Nice.
Oh wait, no, that was in the direct. That wasn't in the. Never mind. Disregard. Copy and paste that statement later on. Resident
Okay.
Evil 4 VR mode. Don't care. Separate Ways Ada Wong DLC for Resident Evil 4. Okay.
I'm happy with that.
we
I'm
got-
fine with that. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'll eventually get around to playing the Resident Evil 4 remake, but I'm in no rush.
It's really good. I would hope you give it a shot before Game of the Year because it's up there for me for sure. I just wish that it hadn't got weirdly like visual corrupted for me. I'm gonna just clear out my save and do the other one because
Mm.
like I said, for no reason in the game, like water just fucked up at the very end of the game, and
Huh.
it looks like every time there's water there, the water doesn't do it. It just disappears the map.
That's so weird.
It's really weird. So and then I thought, okay, maybe it's the end of the game. Start a new game. Nope. It's in the beginning of the first one. A puddle just doesn't have any graphics towards it. So, I don't know. I think I tried reinstalling it too. It didn't work. So I might have to go in fresh 100%, which is gonna suck. But, I don't care. But yeah, Separate Ways, good shit. I'm excited. More Resident Evil. David.
And then we got an extended gameplay look for Spider-Man 2.
Didn't even look at it
The
because it's so close. I'm good.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. Still got to play the other games. I'll get to that eventually. And then we had what people actually care about. The only real major fucking thing worth discussing during this whole fucking event. And that is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth trailer. Which, holy fucking hell, this trailer was a goddamn banger.
Have you ever seen the reaction with Kyle on FF7? Please tell me you have. Please tell me you have. There's no way you haven't.
Wasn't that at the Tokyo Game Show when it was
No. This is like, I'm talking like 2015.
No.
Oh my god. Hold on. This is an internet classic. And anyone, if you have not seen this or watched this, I actually went back to it for this. Let's see. Where's it at? My boy Kite Sith showing up.
Oh yeah, we'll dig into a lot of that here in a second, but we got some hot trailers to look at first, or not hot trailers, but hot reactions.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in Discord. I'll put it in the stream chat too. Let's see. Mr. Movie God there. Tell me when you load that thing up.
All right, I am opening it now.
And tell me what it just dropped on 4848.
Yep.
Let's see. Shout out Adrian for putting me on the junk food fight stick. Copped a micro pre-order in the latest window. Oh shit. I forgot about those for a second, but yeah. You know what? I might ask you how that is. Let me know how that is, because I'm really curious, and the micros look really fucking cool still. Remember those ones, David? I was showing you the button ones that look like they're like this tiny and like this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, Kels, tell me how those are. I'm gonna take your word on it. If they're good, I'll go for it, because those things are massively appealing for me. Every time I want to go to like work and bring a fight stick, I don't want to carry it around every single time, and that thing seems like I can go in there. Thank you. Yeah. All right. David, you loaded up. It's 4848.
Yep.
Okay. How do I want to do this?
Do we just want to count down and hit play?
Yeah, if anyone's loaded up with us, I'm trying to see. I want to see if I can put a screen up here for everyone, but it might not work. We're just gonna go for it. I don't want to waste too much time. All right, I'll count down on go. 3, 2, 1, go.
I know you want to come, but please.
So,
Just be quiet. I'm trying to hear.
Kyle's a baby, by the way.
You're not that excited. Calm down.
Kyle's like
Relax.
17 or 18 years old, I think.
I get Last Guardian, but Jesus Christ. It's not Shenmue. I hope you don't think it is.
Which, by the way, Shenmue happens. This was his dream. Fucking.
I like. Oh, maybe it's 15.
Yeah, pretty sure it's 15.
No.
No, I'm pretty sure it's 15.
Last time, so I don't remember any of those.
No, this is definitely 7.
This
That's what I'm saying. I think this is 7.
Oh, yeah.
review guru has a good line here, actually.
Did you guys not think it was 7? Did you hear? Okay, fine, but he was saying like everybody's been waiting for this. You didn't hear when he said that? Not everybody was like, oh, I can't wait until Final Fantasy 15.
No, girl. Holy shit. Holy shit.
Come.
Final Fantasy 7. Do you fucking realize what just happened? Yeah,
They
they're
released Final
releasing
Fantasy
every
VII
past-
again.
What is wrong with you, Loophole? You didn't even say that for Last Guardian.
right
It's not
here.
that big of a deal. I mean, it's cool, but
It's a big deal.
no, it's
It's
not.
Fantasy VII.
Okay,
Okay, yeah, cool. It's Final Fantasy VII. I want to know
Yes.
what the big deal is.
it's a really good game. Yes.
Oh, shit! Holy fucking shit! Holy fuck! They fucking win! They win! They win! They win! Fucking shit! Holy shit! Holy fuck! Holy fuck! Holy fuck! Holy fucking shit! Holy fucking shit, dude! Dude! Holy fuck! The fuck did they do that?
You can hear him almost crying.
Holy fucking shit!
That's Kyle, dude.
Holy
Yeah, that's Kyle, all right.
I'm pausing. And I think literally like we're talking like not even like 2 minutes later, the second biggest announcement of his life happens with Shenmue 3, and he
Oh yeah.
he literally screams so hard his mic cuts out because it broke. Oh boy. God bless. Yeah, Kyle was like 17 then. That's why his voice is cracking whenever he's doing that. But I love
I mean, it
that.
still does.
I love that reaction. That was Kyle's. 2015 was Kyle's time. But big shouts. He actually didn't even play Shenmue 3 because he got mad at the Epic Game Store thing. Which hey, shouts to Kyle is a man that will stand by his ideals 100%.
Yeah.
So good on him for that.
Also, Kyle, if you happen to watch this at any point, where's that fucking Kingsfield retrospective, you coward?
I mean, we can
You
run.
went ahead and you bought that $400 collector's edition. Where is it?
We can run a podcast. We should probably get him on that FF7 podcast, huh?
Yeah, honestly, I think he would be a good conversation for that.
I wonder. Let's see.
Call him right now.
Oh shit.
Hey,
All right,
you.
let's do it. Let's see.
Someone should do a supercut of all the times we just call our friends during the podcast.
I really hang up when they start saying the voicemail.
Your call has.
All right, gotta hang up. All right. I'll if he gets back to me, I'll let him know. That'd be fun. I never knew he could have such a youth in his voice. I thought he was just born filled with piss and vinegar. Oh man, yeah, he's the baby of the group. Anyway, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. David, go ahead.
Hell yeah. Fucking let's go. So this trailer was hype for so many fucking reasons. And also was sad for reasons that were confirmed after the trailer. So as promised, I'm only going to go over the things that have been confirmed via this trailer, as well as the interview right after with it. So one, combo attacks are a primary gameplay mechanic, which is really fucking cool. That was a really fun component to integrate, and to see that characters will actually have unique combo attacks as just a thing in this is really cool. Fun addition. Two, I'm so glad that I think technically the correct way to pronounce the character's name is Cat She because it's Irish. But I have since a youth have been calling him Kate Sith, and that is how I'm gonna continue to call him until something in the game officially fucking calls him by name. So I like that he's got like a mode stance switch where it's just him versus him on the Moogle. Looking fucking crispy as a playable character. Of course, seeing Red 13 playable is fantastic. However, that does lead into one of the things I want to bring up with the interview. Go ahead.
Really quick, I'm trying to avoid because I would like to save all the talk. You call him Red 13. I felt weird about that, so I just call him Red.
That's fair. A lot of people just call him Red.
Yeah, I was conflicted going there because I get that Red 13 is a thing, but I'm like, yeah, I want to humanize you more though.
Yeah. there's 3 different things people usually call him. Either they just call him Red 13,
Nanaki.
Red, or they call him his Nanaki, his birth
But that
name.
breaks the lore. So I'm like, unless you're already past that, you gotta wait.
We
for
haven't
that.
gotten there yet. We
Yeah,
can't
chill,
call him that
chill.
yet. It's like calling Robo but Prometheus. It's just not right.
Sure,
Or calling Frog Glenn. It's just not the same.
exactly.
But I am so excited by that. But however, in the interview after, Nomura did confirm that Vincent and Sid will not be playable in this game. They're going to be like how Red 13 was in the first one. So they will be part of the party, but they're not going to be controllable party members. But he did follow up by saying they will be playable in the final part.
Oh, well, I fucking hope so.
I would hope so too. But so that's kind of neat.
He said, Cal said, Red is confirmed to be a defensive character too, so that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense considering what his, translating him into a 3D action space. That kind of makes the most sense that he'd be the one kind of running guard for the party. So I kind of like that concept. I like that we basically get the confirmation that Golden Saucer is going to be the big hype fucking celebration area that it was always meant to be. Seeing all the mini games come back and in full 3D, like the Tekken kind of style fighting game they had in there. Seeing the basically a version of the date in there with all 3 ladies is a fascinating choice as well.
So really quick,
yeah,
you mentioned something I forgot that you would have loved the reaction to. Like I said, I like let my students play some of these fighting games, Tekken, let them play. One time we're like got like 5 minutes left. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, I go back to the menu. I'm like, hey, does anyone want to play bowling? They're like, what? And I put on Tekken bowling, and they thought, I was like, oh, is this like a funny little joke? I hand the stick over to one of the students. I'm like, no, I'm gonna play. Like, what? I'm like, all right, to do the controls, and then he bowls. He's like, oh wait, this is a full bowling game in this game? I'm like, yeah, this is a bowling game. They're like, what?
Yeah, Tekken used to fucking go hard with its mini games,
God,
man.
Tekken bowling is so fucking good, dude. That shit it was in 3, right?
Yep, 3.
Oh, it was so fucking good. I don't know how good.
There's a
we
reason
had
why
it
Tekken
good.
3 is still one of the best entries in the series.
Yeah, we had it. We were eating good back then.
You had fucking Tekken Bowling, Tekken Force, and there was like one other big mini game mode.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Mini games.
No, it's all good. So it's good to see that. It's also interesting that Andre is back from Remake. I'm gonna presume he's just gonna be at the Gold Saucer because why the fuck not? But I thought he was a glorious addition to the Honeybee Inn, so seeing him appear again, presumably at the Gold Saucer, is kind of a neat choice. That is going to lead me into the one thing I do want to talk about. I'm not going to go, again, deep into speculation, but as confirmed in the interview after, and as we already presumed watching this, things are not happening anywhere near in the same order as they were in the original story.
Right.
We're already, because Nomura did double down and say that Rebirth ends at the at that climactic moment ending of Disc 1.
Okay.
At the Forgotten Capital. This story ends at that point. It ends as he said it, the midway of the story.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that, we get fucking Emerald Weapon. Wild that we get acknowledgement of literally endgame boss right fucking here during all this. We get a scene in Mideel because we see Cloud talking with Sephiroth, which is also interesting how that's being done. But with the Doctor in Mideel.
So sick seeing them both back to back.
Also, that's the other thing too, is we get the flashbacks instant still, and seeing the combo attack with Cloud and Sephiroth was fucking wild. That was actually really cool to see. But it's also interesting that they're fighting the Materia Keeper as opposed to a Red Dragon. Because the Materia Keeper is one of the bosses of that area in the game when you go back there in present time. So maybe that's just one of those things that they changed just to make it make more sense, because then you go and fight it in yourself, present self,
Right.
or what? I don't know, but interesting little change. Also, another change is the fact that now Vincent is a character that you could theoretically just go and get whenever, but you can get him fairly early.
I got him early.
And when you get him, you have Cloud, Barrett, Tifa, Red 13, and Yuffie potentially.
I had him.
But Kate Sith was here for this.
Yeah, I my party's been weird because I got Yuffie really early and I got Vincent really
Hell
early.
yeah. As you should.
Yeah, so I got, hold on. I may or may not have gotten Vincent before Kate, even, which is weird.
You can get him before Kate. That is the earliest you can get him, is before you get Kate Sith.
Vincent, weren't Yuffie and Vincent both optional in the OG?
Yes, they're completely optional characters.
Yeah, so I got them both super early.
Yeah. So that's what's interesting, is that Kate Sith is explicitly here for finding Vincent, which means that they also change the order at potentially when you go ahead and go to Nibelheim.
Sure. So
I
don't want to speculate. I want to get let's give the viewers a little, because I would like to save all this, genuinely. I want to save all this.
Yeah.
Give the viewers a little hint of where Thick Dave's brain is at, so they can feel enticed to come check it out on Monday.
There is a line said by Sephiroth in this trailer that the reunion is where the universes converge. And I'll leave it at that.
Stay tuned Monday. Did you feel like, what? Give me speculation. What do you think that last is it gonna be Final Fantasy reunion? Is gonna be the Final Fantasy 7 reunion? Is gonna be the title?
That will be the last one, yeah. And it makes sense from because again, the other thing that this trailer showed is we're continuing Zack's story. Zack is alive in some universe now. Zack is alive, and we see him interacting with Midgar, being alive, with characters that we have now established as only being part of this remakes timeline.
So Kel says if it goes multiverse, some people are gonna be mad.
I think that's exactly where it's going. I mean, technically, it's already gone there. It has already gone there. We already, in this canon of just remake alone, have two universes. We have one where Sephiroth knows that there's other timelines, and Aerith already knows that there's other timelines, and Sephiroth has already tried to be like, "Yo, Cloud, let's get a little fucky here. Let's destroy Destiny." And Cloud's like, "I don't know you," and then they fight.
And you know what? Sephiroth to Cloud feels a lot like Mr. Scratch to Alan Wake, huh?
I can kind of see it. Yeah, I can kind of see
that.
the
It's like
comparison,
Mr. Scratch will not stop fucking with Alan Wake, and it's like Sephiroth will literally never leave Cloud alone.
No.
He leaves the fucking. He was safe in Smash. He was safe. He was almost home free. He got one free game without Sephiroth, and then all of a sudden, next game over, he was safe base game. He was safe one whole DLC pack. Here comes that second DLC pack, and nope.
The cruelest part is that's the second fighting game Cloud was a guest in that Sephiroth followed his ass in, because he was also in Ehrgeist, God Bless the Ring, which is a 3D fighting game where it had Cloud, Zack, a Red 13 light character called Django, and Tifa and Sephiroth. So even in that other crossover in a fighting game, he still couldn't escape Sephiroth.
It's so funny. The multiverse is a Final Fantasy. Do you think this goes beyond 7?
We've already established that. So we have Sephiroth and Aerith actively knowledgeable of the multiverses and the timelines. And
I'm not saying does it go beyond. Does it expand Final Fantasy?
Oh, as in like all Final Fantasy, just not just 7. Continuity wise, that's the whole point of the Dissidia series. I could see maybe a mention of Dissidia in there.
Can you imagine? Let me say it because as someone again, I need to dive into this whole franchise eventually. I feel like this is my first foray into it. Do you think there could be a good way of telling a story like Final Fantasy 17, but this is the end game of it in a way that would make sense in a fun and cohesive way, or do you think it's gonna be too fucked up to ever make it work?
I think as a mainline numbered entry, no. I don't think it would ever make sense for it to be a numbered entry. But in terms of it being a side game, that is what I kind of would really hope for a new Dissidia to be, is to be a proper like action RPG instead of trying to be a fighting game.
Sure. And last question I want to ask you before we move on: how do you feel about the naming conventions?
I mean, it's the weird fuckery that they do. That's why I pointed out when I was going through the compilation of Final Fantasy that they all end in alphabetical order, letter, and then C, because C stands for the compilation.
The 7 remake.
Remake, reunion, rebirth, etc.
I like the idea of it because, in hindsight, once the trilogy is done, remake is just is a funny little clever way of being like, oh, they're right. Because at first, right, when we first heard it, everyone's like, what the fuck? This isn't a remake. And we're like, oh, the remake. I get what they're doing now. Yeah, it's silly now, but it's kind of cute the way they're doing it too.
Again, past me was very pissed with it, but
I mean, that's the point,
past
right?
me didn't have this context.
But past you was also, it's called a remake.
Yeah.
Everything that's a remake is remaking that initial game, not remaking the entirety of the fucking story, right? So, I mean, you just didn't let it cook.
I didn't let it cook. I should have known.
Yeah.
But yeah, all in all, this was a fucking baller trailer. I am excited, and we will talk more about it next week.
On a scale of 1 to 10, Rebirth does everything you want. It sets it up. Actually, no. On the level of, I don't know if I get it. Let's go 1 to 10. If Reunion drops the ball, how sad would you be?
I'd fucking rip shit.
Scale 1 to 10. Is it like?
I would definitely be a 17 out of 10 angry if it dropped the ball.
Mm-hmm. Because the game
how dare you go ahead and suddenly make me care and get interested and follow along with your crazy wild ride just to still fuck it up in the end and make it all pointless.
Yeah, because I as someone who's known Nomura, I've been known. I've the most thing I'm known for with it is that his endings can sometimes be spirals of madness.
I mean, he has to end things first, and Kingdom Hearts is still going.
But endings within the stories itself is madness.
Yeah, I mean, everything within them is fucking madness. Kingdom Hearts used to be a simple game about just fucking around with Donald Goofy, trusting the heart of the cards.
I still want to play that series, honestly, because like it sounds fucking. I admire that fan base because Lord help you guys. There is like so much work you got to do to keep up with things.
I still begrudgingly play every game just because fuck it. I'm along for this ride. I've already invested all this time. I may as well keep going.
I want to play him soon. I might squeeze some time in for it because why not?
Honestly, thankfully with the all-in-one collection that you can buy, it does help to streamline a lot of the series.
I got that too, so we're good.
Yeah, because they basically just give you the cutscenes for a bunch of the games.
Do they really? I thought they gave you everything.
No. A lot of the games were like 3DS, PSP, etc. They didn't bother remaking them. They just give you the cutscenes.
Really?
Yeah.
I want money back. Hold up. Continue talking.
Yeah, so like if I remember correctly, Birth by Sleep is only cutscenes. 3.5 over 2 days is only cutscenes. I know that Chain of Memories is a full-on remake because they just remade the PS2 version. And then Dream Drop Distance was remade, but I think everything else is just that. Kel's in the chat. Chain of Memories was unironically fun and my favorite spinoff from Kingdom Hearts. I mean, it's not technically a spinoff; it is mainline because it sets up everything you need to know in order to understand 2. And I will also say that Chain of Memories is my favorite Kingdom Hearts, 100% unabashedly. The original Game Boy Advance version. I haven't played the remake that's actually like a more of a 3D action game, but I absolutely adored Chain of Memories, unironically as well. And 2 was fantastic. And then they did Birth by Sleep, and that was mid. And then they did fucking Dream Drop Distance, which was fine. I thought it was all right. And then we had 3.5 over whatever days, and that was kind of mid. We had the fucking Recode, which was pointless. So many other games. And then we had 3, which was a mixed bag of emotions for me because how dare you? I'm going to say the only thing I'm going to say about 3, and I brought it up on the podcast before, is that 1, the audacity of them to go ahead and release Kingdom Hearts 3 with the expectation that you've been following along with the mobile game, but ignoring that, you couldn't anyways, because there's a major reveal in Kingdom Hearts 3 that relies you on knowing the latest release of the mobile game, but the latest release of the mobile game was months away from being translated in English. So there's no way for you to understand the context at all to that big reveal.
Some fans out there knew.
Some hardcore
Real
fans,
ones,
sure.
the real
But when
ones.
it happened, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? That feels like a major fucking character reveal. Just to Google and be like, oh, if I had bothered to read the spoilers for the Japanese version of this fucking mobile game, only there is it explained what I needed to know for this scene to make any contextual sense. And then 2, how dare you? How dare you pretend to have balls? Because holy hell, the ending to 3 is fucking amazing if Kingdom Hearts 4 didn't exist.
It was a good cap.
It was a phenomenal way to just end it, and it was the most insane, ballsy way possible to end it. And I was like, fucking kudos to you. Goddamn right. Kudos to fucking you for ending it this way. And then someone had to remind me of what the guest characters in the game were, because they didn't have Final Fantasy characters, but they did have guest characters from other Square works. And then I'm like, wait, if those characters are here, I think the way this ended is a trick. And it was confirmed basically in the trailer.
Be careful how much
Yeah.
you share, because I definitely want to eventually.
You're not even gonna realize they're guest characters, so it's fine anyways. But it's still one of those things.
What games? What games are they from?
They are from fucking what the hell is that called? The fucking game's set in Shibuya there.
Persona.
No. Fucking it. The World Ends With You.
Oh, I would probably recognize those guys.
I didn't think you actually played it though.
No, but I've been around. I was gonna play it, but then I heard the Switch version sucks, so I stopped.
Gotcha. Yeah. So if you haven't played it, the context of why they matter as characters is going to be lost, so it's fine.
So I should play that then.
But
that's some bullshit. All right, play through every Kingdom Hearts thing you can. Read some Japanese written in the bathroom stall, and then also go out and play my other games too. Now you'll get word. That's some hey, buy hold on. Hey Kyle.
Yeah.
Yo, oh shit, what's up, man?
You're
what
live,
is up?
You're
You
live
are
on
live.
the podcast.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm at the movies right now.
Okay.
I can talk for
Cool,
a minute,
what-
though. What's
Yeah,
up?
let me ask you one thing. What are you doing on Monday?
Rehearsal, work. What's up?
How late?
Wrong answer.
11:30. What's up?
You're out.
Might
You're
go have
busy
a
until
break.
11:30.
Yeah, at night.
Damn. Okay. We're doing our Final Fantasy VII playthrough because I played it for the first time ever, or our talk, like our little book club thing. We want to talk to you because we were reminiscing about your squeals in 2015 about it.
Oh, with the remake, yeah, of course.
How about this? We're gonna talk about OG. Why don't we get you on one of the podcasts here coming up here, and we'll talk about like a bunch of theories and fun stuff with
Okay.
the
On
remake.
Monday?
Well, we're doing it Monday, but we'll have you on for another one. Did we just talk in general? Because yeah, Monday's our set one for this.
Yeah, sure. I could say a million things about Final Fantasy VII.
Okay, so
I'd say 7 million.
let's do it. So we'll miss you on Monday, but then we'll get you on for just a regular episode sometime soon. Then.
Okay, sure, bro.
All right, cool. Talk to you later.
All right, peace out. Say hi to David for me.
He hears you. He misses you.
All right, I miss you too, bro. Have
Bye.
a nice night.
Bye.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Good people. Hey, he's matured. Kyle's good people. I like Kyle a lot. Shout out-
He is good people. I do feel a little bit bad because it just happened to be he was getting into like a really weird trolley state when I was really not wanting to deal with shit like that.
you got
I
really
feel- I
you
do
forget
feel a
how
little
old he
bad.
is.
Here's the problem: is I have my boss is his age. I have other friends his age, and none of them act like that.
Is your boss married?
Yeah.
Does he have a kid?
Next year.
Yeah, so that's why. Remember, here genuinely, here's actually a thing that I mentioned is that I think, I feel like us being on the internet the way we have has stunted our growth in a way, and I mean that like genuinely, but like jokingly, obviously, but like
This is what happens when you're terminally online.
I mean like, so like I said all the time, students always try to guess my age, and they still can't. They tried so hard. They'll what's your favorite movie? Mad Max Free Road. Oh, it doesn't tell me anything. They'll try some shit like
No,
that.
it's when you go really old school and just be like a Citizen Kane.
Yeah, no, or they try to ask me my favorite game, which I hard passed on that because that would have given me away because it would have been Halo 2. I was like, I play a lot of games. All right, what'd you most play game? Overwatch. Ugh. But me and this other teacher are like the exact. We were born the same year, and we just look like he looks like someone my age should look. I don't. But I feel like the internet kind of stunted our growth in a way, and that's why we're a little more. I feel a little more youthful and like a little more like in touch with people. Like I feel like if I was 5 years younger, I'd be exactly where I was. that's kind of where
Fair.
I'm at with this. What's your favorite game? Pong. I've already got it. Yeah, so
I like a
Kyle-
little bit of Space Invaders.
So Kyle was younger, because yeah, I mean, to be fair, the last time that we regularly talked, that was like what, like 3 years ago? It feels like at this point.
Like 2 or something like that.
It wasn't 2, because at this point I've been in here. Our
There's no way
regular
it's already been 3 years.
our regular Skype calls were when I was in my before I even moved into the apartment that I was at last time.
Oh shit, maybe I guess.
Yeah, our regular Skype calls landed before I even moved into that last apartment.
Holy hell! All right,
Yeah.
where the fuck did the time go?
So I'm saying he was a kid. He's great people though. I love hanging out with Kyle. He was offering to like fly out to me to help me like plan out for the course for the foam kids. So big shout out to him. We'll get him on because he and David will clash heads about everything FF7. So I'll try to do my that. You know what? Let's do that because in that way maybe I'll get Crisis Core and some of the shit out of the way too, so I can have some skin in the game in there too. Let's see. Let me read off some of the stuff they were talking about. Let's see. Channel Memories, unironically finding my favorite spinoff from Kingdom Hearts. It was the abrupt drop off of any and all FF characters for me. The game didn't have the same factor there for me. You're talking about 3, I imagine.
Yeah.
Everyone, I didn't even know the world ends with you connected with Kingdom Hearts. I assumed they'll mean Kingdom Hearts 4 because it looked like Shibuya. Let's see. I didn't know.
Yeah, that whole everything that's shown in the first trailer for Forge Shibuya.
See, that's crazy. I didn't know the world ends with you was connected either, which makes me kind of excited. It makes me want to play a little more, honestly.
Yeah, 2 of the characters from it are guest characters in 3.
He probably he was my age back then. He's a baby. Adrian with his 2 parents arguing.
Hell yeah.
I don't have to argue, but I would love to hear the speculation as to where they're going, though.
Oh, it'll get saucy, I'm sure.
Somehow. All right, Nintendo Direct.
All right. Now, this started off as a fucking snooze fest and then wildly kept ramping right the fuck up.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I
shout,
closed
you know
that.
what?
I'm gonna pull it back up.
Shout out to Splatoon stuff. All that customization shit is actually kind of hype. That's a lot of stuff they're adding on there.
Truly, if I cared about Splatoon, that would have been really fucking cool.
Right. So that was cool.
All right. So let's see here. I think it's in reverse. No, that's not in reverse. It's not in any order at all. This is dumb. All right. They showed up the new Saga game, which I mentioned earlier. It looks really fucking good. It's a fun cast of characters. We got a new WarioWare. Move it.
They're pumping out these WarioWare games, which, hey, you know what? Honestly, good. That's fine. Keep that shit alive.
Yeah, I don't know. This one looks the least interesting. I find it kind of weird that it's based around like more positioning and poses.
That was the Wii ones. Oh, everyone, you're actually not. You're probably correct. I never thought about that. They say.
That's a good thought.
I'm
Yeah,
starting to think Metroid Prime 4 would be the launch title for the new Switch or whatever Nintendo. I can see that.
that
You know
would be
what,
a hell of a fucking dick on table moment.
That would make sense. It's probably why they restarted development, or they kind of like because remember they had to shift development. And they probably, you know what, fuck it. Let's just make that a next gen then. That makes sense. I could. You probably just nailed it. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, because it's kind of weird that we got the remaster of 1, and then we got shortly after Dread, and then all of a sudden it's like hush hush again on what's going on with it. So yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
We also got reveal, or not reveal, but a release date thing for Eiyuden Chronicles, which I forgot all about this game.
Until Kickstarter.
It's the
messaged me.
RPG one that's based on the beat 'em up there. That will be game one or day one on Game Pass when it finally does come out.
That's the one that Kickstarted like a long time ago.
Yeah. We got a HD combo release of 2 DS games called Another Code Recollection. That actually looks kind of cozy. That looks like a fun, cozy little adventure game. I might have to check that one out.
Right.
We got a look at Horizon Chase 2. Looks like a fun little outrun / cruising USA kind of game.
Yep. Oh, you've never played Horizon Chase?
No.
It was a launch title for the Switch.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I didn't play it.
It was cool.
Reveal during this, our boys Vanillaware are back with a game called Unicorn Overlord.
What a
it looks
fucking
like
name.
It looks like a weird combination of like Idra Union and fucking Tactics Ogre. I'm fucking stoked. Give me this wild, wild journey of an adventure. I love their art style and aesthetic. I love the just passion they have for designing elaborate worlds. I will play anything and everything they fucking do. So I am fucking stoked. Let's go Unicorn Overlord. We also got amiibos, including they're all here now. Sora's amiibo was shown off. I imagine his will be even more expensive than even Jorker's is. Getting Jorker nowadays is a fucking nightmare. I wish I had remembered to grab it when it came out. I won't make that same mistake for Sora. So grab him when he comes out, and he's still cheap.
Yeah, I'm still getting fucked because of that lost package. I still gotta buy Pyra and Mithra, but otherwise I'm done after that, which fucking feels amazing.
Then we got a new trailer for Detective Pikachu 2. Looks good. I still haven't played the first one. I'll do that eventually. We got Dave the Diver.
Dave the Diver,
yeah.
good shit. That's a fantastic game.
I'm interested in it.
Yeah, I think you would like it actually.
I mean, it looks like exploration combined with sales management, so I'm always up for games like
That's exactly what it is.
We got the first trailer for the final wave of DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. They're finally putting the nail in that coffin. Rest in peace when that happens.
They said.
We also.
I don't know if I believe it.
Well, I'm sure eventually when the new Switch comes out, they'll have Mario Kart 9 there.
Sure, because
so.
they've said that
Or
they've had
the-
Mario Kart 9 ready.
Yeah,
Like, that
so
was-
if they've
that
had
was-
it ready.
Yeah, they said that it's literally been done. It's been done. It just 8 doesn't stop selling. So why?
Yeah, so what better time than when you have a new console that doesn't have Mario Kart on it?
Exactly.
Let's see, what else did we get here? We got a look at Trombone Champ.
That's a fantastic
Weird little
game.
rhythm game.
That's on Steam Deck. Everyone fucking loves it.
We also got a not encouraging look at the new Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I have no faith in that company. We got a Luigi's Mansion 2 HD.
Yeah, it's weird they're calling it 2.
And I tried to save all these for last because these are basically all the HD stuff aside from one game in here we'll talk about. But these are all like HD updates or remasters here. A really out of nowhere one that I was kind of shocked by and I'm kind of down for. The Tomb Raider Original Trilogy Remaster Collection.
Yeah.
Which features the thing that you and I have talked about before, which is one of the coolest fucking things when companies do it. The ability to switch between old style graphics and the new graphics.
Right. I will say it was. I watched the direct because it was right before the bell rang, so it was like perfect timing. And that Tomb Raider popping up was definitely got a laugh out of the students.
Yeah, absolutely interesting choice. I'll probably get that. That's a cool idea. I dig it. We also got a brand new remake-y kind of thing. It's like seems like half remake, half new game of Donkey Kong versus Mario. The little kind of puzzly kind of game. I'm excited for that. That looks like fun. That looks like a good I'll get it when it's $30 kind of game.
That's fair.
And I'm sorry, bros, you were lied to. So many leakers were like, oh, a certain group of people are going to be eating good at this direct. And you were lied to.
Not actually, but continue actually.
Because we got, in the biggest air quotes possible, a new F-Zero game.
So,
But it's F-Zero 99.
say what you want real quick, and I'll come in on this in a second.
Fuck off is what I'm going to say with that, is Nintendo realizing that, oh yeah, you know, these battle royale kind of games seem to do well, which, again, why don't you still have fucking Mario 35 on your platform? Pretty fucking shitty of you to do. Literally no reason not to. But yeah, because they've said for years, oh, we don't want to do another F-Zero unless we really have something kind of neat for it. And that is going to be really creative. And their really creative way to do F-Zero is, what if we just put multiplayer in the SNES game? And that is what they did.
So, what I'll say is that it's been really well received. I played it. I had fun with it. Was it what we're expecting? No. But someone pointed this out. I think this is really telling. Nintendo has been very, very, very fucking... It just seems like they abhor the idea of making F-Zero again for some reason. I don't know why. But consider this. Now they have so much data to work off of with F-Zero. How many people play this game? How often do they play? What tracks do they like? What do they do? This is... I feel it now that this is the game that's like, okay, let's put our money where our mouth is. Do people really give a shit? Let's make it play. Let's see how this goes. If it's popular, it sticks around, I think it's happening. I'd be shocked if it didn't.
My problem is I hate when companies do that because it's not a genuine gauge of an interest of the game. If you wanted to actually gauge if people want F-Zero back, you don't fucking use the SNES game. You basically use GX.
Well, yeah, but
if you're gonna go ahead and
sure. I get what you're saying. GX would have been, if you're doing GX again, they'd remaster it like the other GameCube games are doing now, and it'd be looking good. Which fucking honestly, do that. Like fucking if bring GX back, that shit's popping. I'm good. If you want to get crazy and add some online multiplayer on that shit, fuck yeah, I'm in, dude. But is that gonna happen? Maybe someday, but I think this is as low. It's not too super low effort. Like this shit's like actually like they've done stuff with it, which is cool. The 99 battle royale shit, it's fucking chaos in on those stages. So I don't think anything of matter could happen, right? Because you're talking like Mario, Tetris, and Pac-Man doing the 99s. That's as bare minimum as you can get in terms of like real time playing of all that stuff there on the Switch, right? So I don't know if you could have done anything beyond this the SNES with that, but I think I agree. Yeah, just do GX, but that would have done a whole the way they're doing things. It would have done a whole. It would have been a whole remaster, and it would have charged money. And then if it didn't sell well, which to be honest, Switch shit just sells. Everything on Switch sells.
Yeah,
every fucking thing on Switch sells. So like, I think it's almost unfair just to say it won't, because it just will. I feel like I bet my cat's life on that. It would just sell well. But with that said, I want to hope that this is the first toe into like this. It has to happen. And I will say the game is actually fun. And I've seen people online post, they've been loving the shit out of that. Like that I've seen but you're like hyper right now. I see people post that they're like ridiculously addicted to the game. So was it what we were expecting? No. Was it what I wanted? No. Do I take what I can get? Yes. Am I happy with what I got? Sure. I'm happy. That's fine. It's a cool thing. And you know what too? On that end, being a free download for that too, let people see what F-Zero is about. Even though it's the SNES version and it's going to be more crazy, maybe that's a cool way of introducing the new gen to this too. Remember that like weird little old racing game you played on there that was like fast but like crazy? Here it is, but like fucking good, like crazy good. And also, honestly, like I kind of like I like in hindsight, I like the idea of 99 because like in F-Zero there are a bunch of fucking racers just going at it, and that's kind of cool to me because that game is chaos. There's shit just popping off. People are getting destroyed left and right. It's kind of cool. So,
I mean, it's kind of one of those things that conceptually I do dig it. I don't want this to be potentially what they use to dipstick if people want a new F-Zero or not, because that's not a fair way to gauge if people would want a new F-Zero. Because I predict what's going to happen is there's only two people that are really going to check this out. There's going to be the people that are like, oh, hey, this is free. And then there's the people with actual nostalgia for the game. But if you wanted to really gauge if people are interested in a new F-Zero, do GX, in which case that gives you an idea of, well, if we did a new F-Zero, this is the closest proximity to what we do. It's like Capcom continuously releasing the original Darkstalkers games and go, I wonder if people want a new one. Let's just keep re-releasing the same one we re-release all the goddamn time and judge on if they want a new game on that or not.
But
like, it's flawed logic.
In that sense, 100% right, because you're making them do that. But this one, if that was, because here's my issue with your logic on that though, is like GX would have been a whole, that is the new F-Zero. So kind of like going back to at the beginning of the game, or the beginning of the podcast, old is essentially new to a lot of people, right? So like if we put GX out now, that is a new F-Zero game. Right now, even if they do just F-Zero GX, we know it. The game sold decently well, but for GameCube, not that's still not that crazy. But like it sold well on GameCube. But to everyone, the Switch obviously is a monolith compared to the GameCube. So you're talking this whole wide audience. if they re-release GX remastered, it's a whole new game. That is the whole new game. And honestly, like, it's gonna be the lazy way they do it. I don't mind if they do it. That's fine. Fuck it. Just do something with it. But like, I get what you're saying with like, it's not necessarily the it's not what you're gonna get. It's not the correct take to what you're gonna expect. But this is a cheap way. I'm sure it's a way to like throw it out there to every single one, cast a wide net, see who plays it, see what kind of stages they like, whatever, and see how that looks. Because yeah, they could do a GX, but they're gonna put their whole thing on there. And I'd rather they not hedge their bets on a GX remaster, even though again I think it would sell well. I'd rather they not hedge their bets, and then if it did sell well for some reason, and F-Zero was fucking dead forever. I think there's like no way it's ever coming back. If they did GX and it sold just a little bit, they would never do it again. So I'm like, all right, fuck it, throw it out there, let everyone get that name recognition at least out there. F-Zero, cool. People are all playing it. Everyone's gonna play it because kids love free things now. Because that's right. They don't have money, so if they see this thing, this free download, they'll play it. Cool. Let them get that thing in there, and then see what the data is. Collect your data, make your game, come back to it, and just pop it off. But I agree with you in the Darkstalkers thing. That's bullshit. Keep releasing the same shit. They already have it. Cool. It's just a little different with this because it's so far out of the realm of what you can be rebuying, because you can't keep rebuying that.
Yeah,
It's a weird.
I see the logic of what you're
Darkstalkers,
saying.
I agree with you because like that's. Stop making us buy shit to say over and over again and say we want more, like, right? But at least on this end too, this is different. It's not just F-Zero on SNES. It's here's F-Zero 99. There's a whole different thing on it. It does some new shit. And it's got stuff. There's different modes on there. It's got kind of like a racing mode that's a little more akin. So you got to go through F-Zero 25, 50, 99. So like you play an F-Zero with 25 players on there too, which is like they do stuff with it, which is fine, and I appreciate that. Versus just like Darkstalkers just re-releasing again.
Yeah.
Hold on, I got a work text.
No worries. Also, just realized that like they were really trying to be ambitious with fucking Phase 5 for Marvel. So I'm sitting here scrolling, because I'm trying to double check to see which films I'm missing from the fucking collection here. And as I'm doing it, I'm like, huh, you know, you've had Phase 1 spread out over like 4 years. Phase 2 was spread out over 2 years. Phase 3 was spread out over 3 years. Phase 4, 1 year. Phase 5, less than a year was the original plan for it. And then Phase 6 is who fucking knows at this point, honestly. But goddamn, they're trying to be fucking ambitious with that. Unnecessarily so.
They oversaturate themselves, which unfortunate.
And you know what? I'll still stand by the fact that I think WandaVision was pretty solid.
I talked to some students about this because they actually asked me like, "Hey, what are your opinions on Phase 4?" WandaVision was. I thought WandaVision was fantastic till last episode. Last episode dropped the ball, I think.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like wholeheartedly dropped the ball. It just dropped the ball on a few major issues.
Yeah.
Hold on.
But there was an earnesty about it. I like that it was doing something different and was a fun love letter to older era of family television, which perfectly blended into the narrative of family that it was trying to present as a story. It actually had ambition to
And
it.
I love how much they nailed the aesthetic and vibes of each era. It was
Yes.
they nailed it. So I actually like it. I just wish I wish Marvel would get their third act done. Like they are shit at wrapping up a story.
Yes.
And I get it too, because like you're not supposed to, you can't have a definitive ending because it's got to remain open somehow. That's kind of the error and issue with comic movies. But Yeah. I want to go back and read some of this stuff that April was talking about. To be fair, my
Yeah.
knowledge, Nintendo does rarely do this compared to Capcom. At least with Nintendo, to do something new with releases or new games, whereas Capcom just re-release stuff with no changes. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. Capcom, yeah, I get where you're at, and I can see it, but I can see that frustration, especially with Darksuckers, because that shit is unfortunate.
Hurts my fucking soul.
David, what should I get? What's it? Uden Chronicle on. Obviously not Xbox, so probably Switch.
I
It could
would
be
say if
PS5.
you're gonna physically buy it, then
No,
get it Switch.
I have no. I have a Kickstarter backer,
Oh,
and they asked me for the platform, and they give me anything I want.
is Steam an option?
Steam is an option, but
Yeah, then you get it on PC and your Steam Deck.
but it's digital versus my physical copy.
Oh, so they don't give like a physical version option for the PC? It's just the Steam download key?
I see PC Steam, PC Epic, PC GOG.
Oh, gross.
So I wouldn't know
Um,
actually, but I'm fairly confident. No, yeah, it's. I actually don't know because I bought for the physical, but it gives those options. But I wouldn't want a physical Steam. Plus, Steam sales would happen fine with that game.
That's
so.
fair. I would say if you're trying to pick where you want a physical version for, then probably pick Switch. That way you still have the portability option to it. Because if you're going to want to play it in the crispiest version, you're going to play it on the Xbox anyways with Game Pass.
That's fair because I was leaning PS5 or Switch, but I think Switch is just nicer to have and add to the collection.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, you play it on the Xbox and you're like, I don't ever need to touch that again. You have a sealed copy on Switch that you can do whatever you need with later.
Hell yeah. And good thing I looked at email because my thing was due tomorrow for this. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. What else did the direct?
All right, let me go back to that tab here. So we did that.
Remember, we still got this Pepperoni roster to look at.
Yes. I think we only had two other noteworthy things here. So not a remake of anything, but I like the way they used it to go to their final reveal. We got to look at that Princess Peach game. And it feels like Super Princess Peach mixed with Paper Mario, and I'm fucking down for it.
Yeah.
That looks really fucking good.
I love it.
I absolutely love the energy about it. Really good to see Peach get more games. Also, shout outs to Abe Pepperoni's comment earlier about how the fact that everyone wanted Bowsette in fucking Mario Kart, but we only got Toadette. Nintendo stopped being cowards and give us Bowsette officially in something.
Imagine. Smash.
Can you do that? Please and thank you. But using that comparison,
I saw my favorite tweet of all time just now, actually. I want to frame this. I'm going to send it to you real quick.
all right. With that in mind, though, we got our final reveal, and holy hell, I don't think anyone was actually expecting this, especially where there's other games in the series that I could have seen them kind of doing something with.
David,
Yo.
you missed that DS game April mentioned that got released in the US.
No, I mentioned it. The Recode. The Recollection, or whatever it's called there.
Yeah.
I mentioned it earlier.
Okay, Recode is not what I remembered it being. I thought it was something
It's like Recollection or Recode or another code. Another code. I think that's it.
another code. Okay, Recode is not what it was. Okay.
Yeah. No, Recode is fucking Kingdom
Uncle
Hearts.
Rico?
Goddamn. Yeah, Uncle Rico. No, another code, Recollection. That's it. Yeah, I mentioned it at the top.
Okay, got it.
Because I'm actually kind of excited for that. That looks very cozy and interesting. Oh, and there was one other game that's not on this list that looks really fucking neat. We got some League of Legends games. We got one that looks like a ukulele / Banjo-Kazooie kind of game with Nunu. And we got one that I need to show my partner because it looks like it's her game entirely, where it's kind of like a Terraria kind of style game.
It's
but
throwing
all
me
the
off whenever
yarn
these are
aesthetic.
called League of Legends stories, though, because I'm like, it doesn't, none of this looks like it links, but I get why you're doing it, but just
Yeah.
the variety.
Got to get that brand recognition in there somehow.
Right. So back to where we at the
But yes, now the real important
I
shit.
love that this was an ending, by the way. Like, thank you for putting some respect on
Agreed.
its name.
We got Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door remaster.
Now, again, like I said, glad it was an ending because this, to be fair, like on levels of directs, this could have been a middle announcement to a lot of them, but this was the ending, and it was a good one for this one.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, and I have not played Thousand Year Door that far. I played through the 64 one and fucking love the 64 one.
Yeah.
Played through Thousand Year Door a bit, and I didn't like it at the beginning, so I stopped playing it.
Really?
Didn't like it, and I just don't think I was that kind of gamer around then. So I'm like, I've just been really wanting to go through and play Thousand Year Door. Now this is a great time to do that now, so I'm just gonna wait. But I've always had respect for that game though, and I love that it's happening again. I'm glad Nintendo's going back and saying, all right, and this is actually kind of what I'm okay with. I'm like, we're so distant away from your old stuff, especially the GameCube era. We're so far away from it. Remaster that shit and let that do the talking. I get it. Like, again, like the GX thing. I want them to do that. Will they do that? No. And I mean, like, again, it could be give or take, especially for something like F-Zero. I heard Origami King did pretty well, but like, put there and then watch the numbers fly for this game because this game is fucking amazing, and you're gonna see. Okay, we're Nintendo. I'll accept your apology. Make more.
Because here's the weird thing is like, I was honestly half expecting that if we were gonna get anything Paper Mario, it was gonna be the Wii U one because that's one of the last things that's
Color
still
Splash.
fucking exclusive to that platform.
Color
Yeah,
Splash.
that's still one.
In the Zelda games, which is infuriating. That bugs the fuck out of me. We'll get it on this next one. The Switch 2 is rumored to be backward compatible, and you would be fucking asinine to not make that shit backward compatible. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be backwards compatible, and I'd hope that they just make their way on there, because that, my god. But yeah. So it could have been Color Splash. Color Splash is gonna be one of the forgotten ones. Good luck. With Thousand Year Door, baby, we're going in.
I'm so fucking stoked for that. Oh, and they also showed off a little bit more footage of Super Mario RPG. Game's looking fucking crispy. Am excited for that. I look
Nintendo on their
forward
remaster
to...
era, and I'm for it, honestly. Cool.
Yeah,
Keep it.
100%.
That's fine.
Like truly, one of these days I do want to check out the fucking Zelda remake that they did a little bit ago.
Super
with,
Paper Mario, Paper Brony. Link to the Past. No, Link Between Worlds. No.
Yeah, no,
Link's Awakening.
Link's Awakening. Yeah, there we go.
Got there.
I was put off by the art style of that game when
Really?
they announced that. I have this weird thing that when I really love the look of a particular game's 2D sprites, I get very particular about how they choose to represent it in 3D.
I love how.
And it wasn't doing it for me.
You know what? I could see it, but you've opened up to it now.
I want to give it a chance, just because Link's Awakening is one of my favorite Zeldas. It's not like, I wouldn't say top 5, but easily top 10 somewhere in there. I spent a lot of time with the DX version in my youth, so that's one of those things that I want to. I don't know. I've heard everyone say it's a good fucking game. It's just the art style initially.
I appreciate it
really
because, like, at least the art style is different. Like, it's something I wasn't expecting, which is fine. I'd rather it be memorable than forgettable.
bothered me.
Let's see. I felt the same when they redid the sprites for the recent Pokemon remake.
Yeah.
I can see what we put off by, like, Let's Go, because Let's Go is kind of forgettable on that end, I think, because it's just like what you would imagine, which is not necessarily the best.
I mean, so much personality has been lost from the Pokemon from when they transitioned from sprites to the 3D models. Like, you go back and look at Gen 1, Gen 2, and Gen 3 sprites especially, there's just so much, like, attitude.
Which
and
is funny,
just
because
feralness to
there's
them.
Gen 1's kind of boring. Like the designs in the early ones are boring, but they didn't
Yes,
seem boring.
contrary to what a former host used to think, the designs for Pokemon have always been boring and lazy.
Not
but,
always. I'm gonna say this: the first
From Gen 1,
Gen
yes,
1
there's
for
a
sure.
lot of boring and lazy
Pidgey is a
designs.
bird. Pidgey is a fucking bird.
Pidgey is a bird. Fucking Ekans is literally snake backwards and is a fucking
There's
snake.
a seal is a seal. A
Seal.
Voltorb is a Pokeball. Like, I get it, but the sprites brought the personality out of them, though. I think,
Yeah.
which was cool. Yeah. The sprites made the Pokemon look so expressive. Yeah, so that's what helped it there. I think the Pro remake that changed how they look, maybe.
Yeah, a lot of people really hated Brilliant Diamond
Did they
and
really?
Shining
I
Pearl.
didn't notice.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, no, that game is, from my understanding of the Pokemon community, because I have a few friends that are hardcore into it, universally, a lot of people hated those remakes.
Damn. You know what? Since playing Go again, I've been actually fiending playing a Pokemon game. So I put it off because I was doing FF7, but I'm wondering which one to put up there next. So I'm like, I might, because I beat Sword and Shield, I might go through Brilliant Diamond just cause, and before I get to Violet.
Yeah, I got the combo pack for Scarlet and Violet when that came out because Lee and I were going to play through them together. And she actually just recently mentioned that she's still interested in giving those a go because she's never played Pokemon proper before either. She's only played Pokemon Go, really. So if you decide to do Scarlet and or Violet down the road, let me know, and maybe we'll time up us finally playing it with you.
Yeah, I might just do I'll just do Diamond for now then, just because I just want to speed run a little bit just to get done. But yeah,
Yeah.
those ones I know are more dense, so we'll for sure do that. It's probably sometime maybe December because that might be slow enough. But then no, because we're playing Persona. We'll see.
I was gonna say yeah, because just double checking the schedule here, because Persona, I mean that's a 115-hour game.
Yeah.
There. Beginner's Guide, Her Story. I mean those.
No, those are
December
short games.
is a quiet.
But
yeah,
that's
those are
the
short
reason
games,
why.
so-
The reason why it's a short month was to give us 2 months to do Persona.
I mean, to be fair, I also don't necessarily need to replay Royal. I know that I've gone through that game 3 times 100%.
You know what I might do? I don't know, because here's the thing. I imagine once I play Persona 5, I'm gonna want to play Persona 5. Every time I don't see a
Yeah.
world. I don't see a world that I replay Persona 5 Royal and just not want to say, you know what, just fuck it. I'm just gonna go through it.
Yeah, no one just simply again, unless you're a former co-host of ours. No one just starts Persona 5 Royal and go, I don't need to finish it.
I wonder if he did finish it or not. I hope he did. I genuinely hope he did, because I think he would.
I hope he did too, because
he
it's a
would've fucking
phenomenal
loved
fucking game. But
but I don't know. So like, but I do want to play 3. I'm very like actually like I kicked back. I was excited at the rumors, dropped back when I saw that when they were like, oh, there's none of this. But then the wording of like how they said like this is us redoing things and you'll see some stuff there. Like just give us let us cook. I'm like, all right, I'll let you cook. We'll see.
I honestly suspect that if anything, we'll get the epilogue as a DLC. I truly suspect that will happen. But it would be wild if they didn't include some of the other stuff from FES in there,
Sure.
just because of enemy variety, if nothing else. Having more enemy variety would be nice.
Sure. Let's hustle through some of this so we get done.
Yeah.
But I do want to say before we get to this I want to cap it off with a Priorities Roger, because you know how we talk about fighting games. I want to have these rumors real quick. Or not rumors, leaks. Microsoft
Yes.
leaks. Real quick, David, did I
Yo.
not yell at you and Gore about this? About you guys? I told you guys, Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be Xbox only. You guys were like, there's no way it's going to happen. It's going to be everywhere. I'm like, no, it's...
Because it's dumb for it to be exclusive.
But I'm right.
You are right.
I'm right.
Also, that means, but here's the thing, that also means that Microsoft lied to the FTC,
Did
saying
they?
no, anything. Yeah.
They said... No, they first for Elder Scrolls 6, I remember we talked about this. They danced around the words. They said, is Elder Scrolls 6 going to be on PS5? They say that game's so far away, we don't know if it'll be on PS5. Because PS6 will be out by then. It's not going to be on PS6. That's legal, verbal. Like I saw that shit in the writing. Like if I was a lawyer, I would have called that. If I was a lawyer for the FTC, I would have called that shit out in like 2 seconds. I'm like, all right, so does that mean I'm gonna be PS6?
Yeah, no. If I would have been like, all right, so are you committing to saying you'll put it on 6 then, if it's not on 5?
Yeah. So, but they didn't. So I saw that. Now here's the problem too. We
Real
talked about,
quick, Crazy Pepperoni. Yes, this is actually from the court docket.
Yeah, and Phil Spencer even addressed him. And also, I'd like to point out, Starfield increases Xbox sales as well. So like, once again, I'm telling you, I understand. David, I understand where you come from with terms of all that. I
so
understand.
dumb.
I understand, but there's a reason why I argue with it because I know what I'm saying with this. It's like it makes sense to me and like the market. It makes sense for the market, but like I understand where you're coming from. Like bigger means better, all that, but like Microsoft doesn't spend all this money to like not at least open their own market up a little bit. Like Call of Duty is not, because Call of Duty is too massive. Minecraft's too massive. Elder Scrolls and Fallout, not at that upper echelon of like height that you can't close off for. These are games that you can close off still, and they're gonna take the hit on that. So like, it told you, Elder Scrolls it's gonna be exclusive because people are gonna buy an Xbox for that shit. I promised you, and I told you, and you guys wanted to fucking. Oh no, you're not.
But here's the thing: is you're talking about these like these are secondary series. Elder Scrolls is literally the definitive Western RPG experience.
But I know, and I get that, and like in heightness, sure. But I'm talking like there's an upper echelon where you're talking Call of Duty and Minecraft. There's a step. There's a big old step there. As big and popular as these games are, there's a step there, and you can't close that step off because then you're cutting off
Yes.
the mass majority, and then you fucked up. These games, I want to say that I just don't think there's a. These games are ones that you can manipulate to buy a console for, because they are single player enough to like go do this. Whereas like the open platform ones you can't, especially because they're more community based.
I still think it's fucking.
I
dumb.
understand
Like,
why
I
you
get
do.
it. I get it. I understand the logic, and I think it's less about buying the console, and it ultimately boils down to my other thought, which is it all comes to Game Pass. They don't give a fuck if you buy the console; they lose money on the console.
But I mean,
But
it's a
Game
bonus.
Pass,
though.
everyone's got a PC.
Sure, but it's
Everyone's got a PC.
Sure, but it's a bonus. So now they've increased their market share a little bit, and by chance even because I agree that's the ultimate goal, right? But having an Xbox in your living room means Game Pass is that much more accessible, and it's that much more in your face right there too. So it's like it's a win-win on that end too.
Fair.
So told you, just wanted to throw it out there. You know, Microsoft and me, we just get it. You know, we're built different. I get it. But let's actually go through some of this other stuff. So
Yeah, like this shitty fucking console refresh idea.
So the console refresh. Go and talk about. I'm actually let me point out what it is, and David can go off on it because I get it. The console refresh is going to be a. It's like a cylinder.
It looks like the stupid fucking Mac Pros they had a couple of years.
Looks like a
back. They
router.
look like garbage cans. What
Right.
fucking routers are you looking at that look like that?
Router or modem? Modem. I'm thinking of.
Either.
Oh, you know what? No.
fucking
I have
ones
to- it's because I associate with like Xfinity stuff. They have like these extra like Wi-Fi things that you could stick on their own, and it kind of seems like one of those things, like almost like a extender or whatever. It's just running laps like the Roadrunner. This is true. I do like the trash can design though. Yeah. Actually, I hope that they do make a trash can design of that one. That'd be funny. It's all digital, which is why David hates it.
Like, here's the thing. Because if you're bothering to do the refresh, I get the idea of doing the budget option in comparison with the disc version. It makes sense because especially even I have said multiple times on the podcast, the Series S is tempting at $300, and nowadays you can find it for even cheaper than that. You can once in a
$250.
while, yeah, $250. that's fucking tempted to have a Game Pass machine under your fucking extra TV. You know, that's something where it's like, all right, that goes in a different room, and that
I
is
got
just
one
a
for my
Game Pass
bedroom, and it's
machine.
fantastic.
Exactly. But it's one of those things that it's like, beyond that, if you're gonna go ahead and try to do what looks like it's gonna be something that's gonna be a replacement altogether, like I'm sure they'll still have the Series X because they're gonna have some kind of SKU that still has a disc option. But that looks, what the specs they're going for tells me that they're chasing something that will be around the X's price.
No,
I don't know.
It is. Did you guys see it?
Oh, it actually says it's in that.
Yeah.
screenshot?
We're misconstruing here. It's not a refresh. There's no major specs. It's literally a console redesign. Think Xbox Series or Xbox One S, Xbox One X. It's one of those. But no, actually not even. Xbox One S more than not even X. It's like it's just a redesign. It comes with more storage, but it's all digital. Same price. So it's not a refresh. It's not giving you more power. That's the one thing they've said, and there's apparently standing by is they're not giving you more power. The most it is it just consumes less electricity pretty much.
Yeah.
Better Wi-Fi, doesn't consume as much power. Everything else is fine. So this is going to be kind of one of those that for us collectors don't give a shit. Market's obviously skewed a lot more towards digital. So this is aimed at them. Cool. But yeah, I don't care. That's where I start and stop with that, David.
Yeah, that's the same thing. You know, down the road, especially if they get rid of the SKU, just to all of a sudden make the X, like that would be the one thing I could see being an interesting idea. Is just get rid of the SKU altogether, make the X the cheaper model, and then have that one as the kind of all-in-one home entertainment solution option, essentially. But no,
So I like the S as a thing. Remember, the only game that was actually going to be a hindrance to the whole thing was Xbox lost out on Baldur's Gate 3 initially because of the requirements Microsoft had, which was if you make it for the S, it has to work for the X on all fronts. So if you have multiplayer, crossplay, or split screen, has to work on S, has to work on X, exact same way. Which why Baldur's Gate 3 wasn't happening because they were like, we can't get the split screen to work on there. And then Microsoft they had talked and said, all right, fine, fuck it. Just you don't need to put on the S, which works out. Which I think for the long run, that's fine, I think. But they kind of shoot themselves in the foot a little bit with that. But also, I think just the cheaper model, like we just said, is too tempting. You can't get rid of that model without losing out that impulse purchase factor.
Yeah.
You see the controller?
No.
So they're gonna same design, but they're gonna add gyro to it.
Gross. All right.
Now, as people that do Splatoon esports stuff, gyro goes hard. Yeah, you can snipe some motherfuckers with that. It's not for us.
I get it.
Not for us. You have to fucking turn off. You have to recode your brain to work with that shit. But like professional players that play FPS shit, you can do better than mouse and keyboard with gyro. TBH.
It's one of those things that I get it. I'm just so sick of fucking gimmicks being thrown into controller, unnecessarily inflating the cost of them and killing battery life.
Sure. Was there haptic triggers in this shit? Kells? If so, I fucking I hate them. But you know what? If I can turn them off, that's fine. Oh, that's cool. The controllers are lift to wake up. That's kind of like a little neat thing. Yeah, Splatoon players on gyro are nuts. That's when we coached our teams. We said you gotta go gyro. I'm okay on stick. No, we made them stop playing stick. You are learning gyro, and we're teaching you this right now, which worked out. We won, but the kids were complaining about that shit right away. I get it. I would have been fucking pissed if I was like that too. Like fucking coaches making me play gyro on this shit. but then you get some crazy headshots. You're like, oh, I get it now. Yeah, I mean, I just don't give a shit. I love the simplicity of the Xbox controller, honestly. All right, let's talk about some other stuff. David, games.
Yo.
You like games?
I occasionally do partake in a good game now and then.
Let me tell you about some leaks of games, David, because you like game leaks.
Leak these games.
Okay. They have that. So we got 2021. 2022. Okay, so starting this next year, we have Indiana Jones, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remaster, another expansion for Elder Scrolls Online, and Starfield DLC. Following year, Doom Year Zero and DLC. Project Kestrel, another Elder Scrolls Online expansion, and Project Platinum. Okay. For the
Scalebound Resurrected.
yeah, well, they're doing it. I don't know why they're doing it. Fuck it. Last year we have though, right? This is the big one. Elder Scrolls 6. Project Kestrel expansion. Licensed IP game is all they said here. I'll do this last one there. Elder Scrolls Online expansion. More Doom Year Zero DLC. Dishonored 3. Ghostwire Tokyo sequel. And Fallout 3 remastered.
Sorry, that facial reaction wasn't to those games. I just looked at the fucking new controller and that looks hideous. That controller's ugly as sin.
So was the Series S, but I got used to how stupid it looked. I love dumb looking shit, so I'm fine with it. But yeah, so those are your games. David, thoughts?
I mean, yeah, sounds like a logical lineup.
Fallout against the remasters. I'm not against Oblivion and Fallout 3 getting remastered. I think if you're a studio like Bethesda and you need to take all this time in the world to like get there, remaster some shit. That's fine. Like breathe some life.
Especially where here's the thing. Providing we actually have Elder Scrolls 6 in a new engine, I would presume that half of what they did to even test a lot of it anyways is copy and paste old shit into it to test it. All right, let's just take all these models, throw them in here, see how it all functions, and then we can put the new shit in after. That's just the thing you do in development to save a lot of time. Is just copy and paste and then fix it later. And they certainly had no qualms remastering and re-releasing Skyrim 80,000 fucking times on every goddamn device possible.
Mm-hmm.
So what else do? You go back to your other shit. Now, it's interesting choosing those. Oblivion makes sense, but I feel like Morrowind is more so crying for
Morrowind would have been
modern...
fucking hype, bro. Oh my God.
Morrowind, especially where
oh my God,
the Xbox was the only console to have fucking Merlin.
Let's usher in that era, bros. Let's do it. Show those PlayStation players who the fuck they're fucking with, dude. Remember this game you guys can play?
A legacy.
Fuck you.
There's a legacy to that idea. So it's kind of one of those things that it's kind of shitty that... I mean, I get it. Oblivion was a good game. I put a lot of fucking time into Oblivion. But it's still one of those things that I feel like Morrowind would have been the more of significance choice to make there.
I like that idea more too, just because a jump from Morrowind to current gen is massive, but then it gives a little wiggle room that if you ever want to do Oblivion, it'll be just as big of a gap as well to give you a little more wiggle room, because even though a jump from Oblivion to current right now is going to be big, it could be bigger. Morrowind will be impressive no matter what, but you want to make Oblivion even more impressive, right? So Is Doom Year Zero a new game or DLC of Doom Eternal? I'm assuming a new game because it's Doom Zero plus Doom Year Zero plus DLC.
Yeah.
So we're getting a new Doom, which makes sense. That sounds about like the right time that a new Doom should be out. Or Kel said the IP game has me worried. I'm not hopeful for the Indiana Jones game. I'm not against it. Avalanche is not too bad of a developer from whatever. I forget what they made on top of my head, but I remember not being too worried for it.
I've never cared about Indiana Jones, so I have no stake in the matter.
Same. April says, imagine the DLC for Oblivion is horse armor again. I would love for that to happen. I think they should lean into it. They should lean into it and make that the pre-order bonus. That'd be fun. I think at this point people will love that. If you know, you know, right?
I mean, fair, I guess.
Oh, and I forgot.
I still find it so like on one level funny, but in my soul asinine that when they would increase the price of it on April Fool's Day. Fucking ridiculous.
Let's see. Some other stuff that was mentioning is that or mentioned that people laughed at. But I mean, it is what it is. Hold on.
Ooh, that's
Yeah, so what happened is to get all this out here was that all these extra documents were leaked because the FTC just compiled it into one PDF. So the US government went and deleted all that stuff now. But let's go through some of this. Multiple emails, including which, let's see. Let's see, where is this at? I'm just gonna go by what I was saying. So they talked about Nintendo again. Nintendo, like Phil Spencer's still eyeballing Nintendo. He would love to fucking buy it. That's kind of what he was talking about. He said like that would be the golden goose, right? Like that, and it would be. Now, here's
Look,
the thing.
Microsoft has fuck you money, but get the fuck out of here with how we're gonna buy Nintendo.
Right. So here's the thing. Dishonored 3 will be very different. A lot of those devs left. I agree. April said, I was gonna say what the IP game is 007, but that would have probably been shown in the title instead of making it sound mysterious. Maybe. I imagine they're just trying to like they got plans to make an IP game, but what it is, I don't know yet. So people were laughing at that, obviously, because we had that story where Microsoft got laughed out by Nintendo by being bought. I just want to, again, put the business side of it into it, right? Is that people are like, they're fucking stupid for doing this and that. I just want people to realize that Microsoft does have fuck you money, and as any corporation with fuck you money should do and does to keep on top of the game is almost fantasize stuff that could happen, right? So it's like, it's not unrealistic for them to be talking about like, yeah, we'd love to buy Nintendo. Yeah, that'd be the winner. You get the GGs at the end if you did that. And to their credit too, I think Phil Spencer said that the issue that they have with everybody Nintendo is they have a lot of cash. They got a lot of fucking money in the bank right now, which is why it's not going to happen. But that's what they mentioned. But he also mentioned that he's like, it'd be good for both of us, and it unironically would be because Nintendo is hindered primarily by hardware. Like, if we were able to get like Nintendo quality of stuff on anything, they would be massive. Am I not wrong on that?
No, you're not wrong on it.
So like, it makes sense. They're not gonna, cause no, but like, it does make sense in sort of that, right? And let's see, that's like Sony buying Disney. but who knows? It might be different. Disney has more money than Sony, right?
Disney is like top 3 richest companies in the world. Disney has absolute fuck you money.
Who's the biggest? Is it still Microsoft or Apple?
I think it's Amazon or Apple at this point.
People forget how massive Nintendo is. People, well, and I've said this too, is that every company needs to constantly make money. So like the whole idea of like it's okay if Nintendo doesn't have a good year or two because they got money. That's still bad. That's still very bad to have bad years.
So top 5 richest companies in the world. Number 1 is Walmart.
Oh, Wally World.
Number 2 is Saudi Aramco, which is an oil and gas.
Hell yeah!
company.
I hope they buy Nintendo.
I mean,
Yeah, I
Saudi
know.
Arabia has been investing a lot into everything. They almost bought WWE, so
Yep.
and it's because of them pulling out of the deal with Embracer Group that they got rid of a bunch of companies.
Mm-hmm.
The Chinese State Power Grid Corporation,
Hype.
Amazon, and then a company called Vito, which is out of Switzerland.
Somewhere in there, Microsoft and Disney.
And then after that is another Chinese corp, ExxonMobil. Number 9 is Apple. Number 10 is Shell. Then United Health Group, CVS, the other companies no one gives a shit about. Oh man, I'm still not even seeing Microsoft here. Alphabet Inc. So like Google and all that's number 18. McKesson, Toyota, BP, Chevron, Samsung, Costco.
Control F to Microsoft.
Microsoft is 31st.
Okay, that's still good.
Oh, fascinating. Disney's no longer in the top 50. How about that?
Where they at?
Not
it's not
top
on our
50.
list?
That's where, yeah, that's
Fair.
just simply not on the fucking list.
You fucked up, Mouse. You fucked up with Marvel.
Oh, this is going by most recent fiscal year only, so it's not like all together. That makes far more sense.
Sure, David. I need to start getting geared up to start heading out. So let's do this list. I want us to talk about this. Okay.
Real quick, if you go by the actual market value of the companies, this makes more sense. Number 1 is Apple. Number 2 is Microsoft. Number 3 is Saudi Aramco. Number 4 is Alphabet, and number 5 is Amazon.
There we go. Did you send it just me or David as well?
I think he just sent it to you because I didn't get anything.
Okay. Let me see. I'm gonna put some of these in the Discord because I want David to read these because I want to see his reactions to these. So David, as I'm attaching these files one by one, go ahead and look at the why is this not loading? Upload file. Okay, fuck it. Hold on. Let me go to. Where are you at? There you are. Okay, maybe not. Fuck it. Let me do this. Oh, he said it to you too. Your
Where?
Twitter DM?
I didn't get a message alert.
Check that one more time.
Oh, okay. Twitter's doing a dumb thing and is like, hey, you don't know this person.
Oh.
Motherfucker, he's literally on my whatever. Fucking Twitter's so garbage now.
X.
All right, I have this pulled up now.
All right, David. Let's read it off for the fans because I want you to see your face on this.
All right, so we're starting at the top here.
Yep.
All right, so wait, how is this set up here? Okay, so it looks like we're starting at the top with the Street Fighter cast.
Yes.
All right, so we got Ryu, Sakura, Chun-Li, Juri, Dudley, JP as main entries.
Okay.
And then as DLC, we have Rashid and Zaki.
How do you feel?
Zaki is an interesting out-of-pocket choice. Aside from that, I mean, yeah, I feel like the logic, and correct me if I'm wrong here at Paperoni, but I'm gonna presume the logic is same to what we were kind of saying is there's just certain staple characters you can't not have when it comes to Street Fighter. But this does a good job of bringing in a bit more new blood and representing other eras of Street Fighter. So yeah, I dig it.
Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is out this January 26th.
Good shit.
All right, David. SNK.
All right. SNK. We got the Terry Bogard. We got the Geese Howard of Tekken fame. We got Hibiki, Darlie Dagger, Angel, Sylvie, Tizok, and Elisa. Those last two are DLC.
And he adds an asterisk there too.
Yeah. Tizok or King. Oh, man. Fucking King of Dinos would be great. I personally prefer King of Dinos because during my brief stint of playing King of Fighters 16, he was in my main team. So I have a little bit of a bias there. But yeah, good representation in the roster. Darlie Dagger is a fun newer addition to the roster. Like to see her inclusion there. It is a little interesting to not see Mai as one of the ones you would immediately throw in there, though.
Maybe Tizok can be costume and whatnot.
That's a fun idea. I like that idea. We played around with that on other things there.
Next one, David. We got some MK.
Some Mortal Yombat, where really there's no wrong answers. We got Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Melina, Shang Tsung, Raiden, and Liu Kang as main roster. And then DLC, Johnny Cage and Cassie Cage. Interesting.
That'd be a fun little double pack.
That would be an interesting double pack. Yeah, I mean, the main roster picks definitely scream like Mortal Kombat's enduring legacy characters. That's the only complaint, air quotes, I would put on it, is it would be interesting to see some newer blood as part of the main roster option, as opposed to locking it behind DLC. But otherwise than that, I mean, again, it's hard to go wrong with the Mortal Kombat cast.
I'm glad we had some influence here on this on this next one we see.
I was gonna say this list is looking pretty fucking pretty similar. We got some Kazuya, we got some Nina, we got Julia, we got Ogre, Azuzenica, King, Brian Fury as DLC, and Yoshimitsu as DLC. Interesting.
So they've also been adding in HMs, which we haven't been reading off, but there's a long list of
Yes,
HMs
the honorable mention.
Honorable mentions here. Armor King, Jin Heihachi, Raven, Bob, Haorang, Leroy Smith, and Fakuram.
Yeah,
Bob
no,
would be
I mean,
Bob would be fun to have.
I would love Bob to be in there. Bob is such a fun fucking character for Tekken. But yeah, all in all, like, this is not, I see no problems. Again, same thing with Mortal Kombat. It's hard to pick wrong options. All right, for next up, looks like Darkstalkers here. Morgan, Jetta, Donovan, Anita as an option. Interesting. All right. Felicia, Lord Raptor, with DLC being John Talbane and Belletta / Baby Bonnie
So-
Hood. All right.
If it says with most of these, I kind of wanted to have connections between characters or rivalries. I like it.
Ooh, that's a good point. I like that. I dig it. picking Anita as a playable character option is a little odd for me. I think if you were going to go down the route, especially of trying to have kind of rivalries be in there, it is a little odd from my perspective to not have Dimitri as part of that main roster option, but otherwise, or even Bishamon in that main roster option. But otherwise than that, I mean, again, the good fucking options to pick from there. Next up, we got Marvel Baby, in which he definitely went off script here. He has picked some original characters, air quotes, to throw in there. So we got Wolverine and Deadpool. All right, good stuff. Star-Lord, Doom, Spider-Man. Doesn't specify which Spider-Man. You got to tell us in the chat, my guy. Which Spooderman do we have in here? And Daredevil, with DLC characters being Blade and Man-Thing.
I love those DLC characters. That's sick. Honestly, I
Blade
love
almost was in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but they were like, no, we got too many sword characters. And I'm fucking sad about that because we were robbed of Blade being in that roster.
Hey,
I would have been A-okay with that.
Talk. I'll be back in 1 minute.
All right. So yeah, if you're going off the idea of you can just pick anything from franchises per se and not necessarily beholden to what's in pre-existing games, these are interesting picks. I'm not sure about Star-Lord as like the potential counterweight to Doom. I think that's the perfect time to introduce Mr. Fantastic into the main series. Or even doing some other characters that Doom has come to odds with a lot, like some of the other X-Men. But I do like the idea of kind of branching out a little bit of the norm. Really, what this is missing. Let me check your honorable mentions. So your honorable mentions have Cyclops, Magneto, Storm, Omega Red, Mystique, Rocket and Groot, Mantis, Ghost Rider, Moon Knight. Ooh, good one. Elsa Bloodstone, Venom, Prowler, Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, Black Panther. So many fucking good ones. Oh shit, I would have gone with Gwen, Miles, and 2099 as costumes and just Peter as the main one. That's fair. Here's the thing. I see this cast, and this is a good looking fucking cast. But here's the thing. If you're going to pull in fully original characters, like Star-Lord and Daredevil and Man-Thing, how do you not go for what the fans really want and put Howard the Duck in here?
I will say they're not feeding into the memery like you like it. Which, to be fair, I'm okay with that because like David needs to laugh at the roster a little bit, but sometimes all bad.
That's half the spirit of especially of a lot of versus games.
Sure, but like at the same time too, I understand the need to just be epic with this thing though. You know, like
That's fair.
Like sometimes you might need to forego the laughs, the ha-has, just to be epic and like fantastical with how you're doing with it. And dude, Man-Thing would be go hard, dude. I just love the idea of Man-Thing in there.
That's fair. Now, speaking of going hard, we have the Capcom explicit roster, to which again we're getting some fresh blood in here. So we got Dante, we got Wesker, good picks. We got Ashura from Ashura's Wrath. All right, good option. Monster Hunter, Mega Man again. Which Mega Man are we talking here?
Mega Man.
You gotta be specific on the minute. Honestly, just from my own perspective, don't want to take your choice. But you know what, Mega Man? We've had a lot of characters from this particular Mega Man series in the series, but we haven't had this Mega Man in any of them yet, and that is Mega Man Legends Mega Man.
That'd be cool. By the way,
sweet.
Going back, everyone said Deadpool was kind of the meme role, which is fair.
That's fair.
They thought of Man-Thing as a grappler. That's cool.
Oh, that's a good option. Yeah, fair enough.
And then they said OG Mega Man. But are we talking
All
Fat
right.
Mega Man, or you mean like Smash rendition Mega Man? Like, I mean a couple things.
And then we have another wild out of nowhere pick of Diva Lotl. Interesting.
Where are they from again?
If I remember correctly, I think they're from Plasma Sword.
Never heard of that.
It's one of their like 3D fighting games.
Okay. And then what's our DLC, David?
DLC is the man who will save the president's daughter, Leon, and the man who will prosecute the victims. And that is Phoenix Wright. Not prosecute the victims. That's no, Phoenix. What are you doing?
Oh no, he's a villain. This poor man. No fat Mega, says A Pepperoni.
Right.
It's like Kel
All
said,
right.
I want a crossover game with just meme characters. There you go.
Beautiful. I thought it was Cyber. Oh yeah, Cyberbots. I forgot about that one. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that is Cyberbots actually. All right.
Okay.
Next up, we got Skullgirls. Ooh. Let's take a look here. Philia. All right. Fair. That's a good solid choice. Double. Again, also a good solid choice. Peacock. Fucking yeah. All right. That's a good choice. I hate fighting her, but good choice. My homie Big Band.
You need Big Band
gotta
in
have
there.
Big
I'd be unfortunately bummed out if there's no Big Band.
Squiggly. All right. Fun. Good choice. Fun. Good choice. Black Dahlia. All right. Good stuff there. And then for DLC, Beowulf and Painwheel. Ooh. Those are good fucking options.
Surprised no Misfortune
again,
on there.
That's a good point. Where is Misfortune?
They have them
How
under
can you-
HMs, but I'm like, I would want Misfortune there, but that's fine.
Again, I'm also going to agree, but that's because
Parasol?
I'm biased. Because, I mean, she is the Captain Commando assist character. And if you're not going to have Captain Commando in this game, you got to have a character with the Commando assist.
It's fair. I like it though.
Yeah, that's again, it's hard to go wrong with Skullgirls, and I feel like that's also part of the charm of having a smaller roster fighting games. It's hard not to be endeared to most of the cast. Games that don't have small casts, though. Next up, we got Killer Instinct. We got Fulgore, all right. Glacius, good stuff. Hisako, Spinal, Saberwolf, and Con Ra. Interesting. And we are apparently saving the cheesecake for DLC, as Mira and Maya are the DLC picks.
I would love. I keep forgetting. I haven't played. KI in a while, but Maya was my go-to. Actually, that was my main. So I would love.
I'm
Maya.
actually a little surprised that Orchid's not on here.
That's fair too. All right, David.
All right, next up. Ooh, this is such a hard one. All right. Guilty Gear. Let's fucking go. We have Mr. Bad Guy, of course. Dizzy. Yep. Eno. All right, that's fair. Ooh, Nago. Nago's a really good choice. Yep. Zappa. I fucking love Zappa. He will never be playable ever again, but goddamn, I love that character.
Why not again? What's the story there?
Huh?
What story? Why?
So Zappa's whole story is that he was so beautiful of a human being that a ghost was pissed off by his beauty and possessed him, and then he fights by the ghost like bending him around in all these weird shapes and positions, and then summoning other ghosts to fight with him. And then in lore, by the time of Revelator, he is cured of the possession and is just back to being a normal guy again.
Oh, okay. So he's not. He'll never play again because in lore he's done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a very poor, unfortunate soul.
Yeah. Then Edward says DLC are kind of exceptions to the rivalry and connections rule. It's fair.
That's fair. And DLC for Guilty Gear, we got Baiken and Potemkin. Good options, man. Good fucking options. I am sad. While I'm happy that my homie Faust, he will always be my primary main in any Guilty Gear game is there. I am sad that my secondary character, Ramlethal, is not part of main roster. But otherwise than that, oh man, Gold Lewis Dickinson would be fun in there. Yeah, Giovanna would have been fun in there. Venom would be really fun. Zato 1. Oh man, again, fucking Guilty Gear's just got such a good fucking cast of characters. All right, next up we have we have Guilty Gear at Home, Blaze Blue. We got Ragna, Hazama, all right. Noelle, very good choice. Rachel Alucard, and then Hakumen and Jubei. Good choice on Jubei for that. Yeah, you're heavily. Yeah, Slayer fucking feels like he should be on that roster. Because if again, if we were doing like the idea of trying to we keeps everyone roughly in scale to the power, Slayer would fucking wreck almost everyone. Even if you threw Omni-Man in there, Slayer would fucking easily take him toe to toe. But yeah, no. Jubei is a really interesting choice to see there. DLC, Tager, and Bang. All right. Man. Azrael, yeah, I see you have Azrael in the honorable mentions. He's the only other one that I'm like, fuck, Azrael being in the like main roster would be a really interesting option. And I like that you went with Hazama over Terumi. Very good choice there. I dig that. Yeah, Rachel versus Slayer would be fucking wild, especially because
Ooh.
canonically they do know each other.
This last one is wild. These are the guest characters, David.
All right. So guest characters. Ooh, okay.
Kel said I love how MK adds an Omni-Man and it ripples throughout. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, David. This
All right.
this this guest list is kind of wild, dude.
So there's two characters I need. Well, one character I need a confirmation on, and one that I actually don't think I know. So we have Scott Pilgrim. All right, that'd be fun. I dig it.
I would like a
Kiryu.
I feel like a pixelated Scott Pilgrim would be funny.
Yes, specifically, it has to be that style. Kiryu, I would fucking adore it.
It has to be in Tekken 8, right? Am I crazy?
I
He knows.
really hope he knows, and they had artwork being done for Yakuza stuff in their offices. So maybe it wasn't that they were working on DLC for Tekken 8 or Tekken 7, but stuff for Tekken 8.
Snake and Kiryu and Tekken 8 have to happen. It has to.
Or you know what? Fuck it. If they don't want to put Kiryu in there, at least give me Majima. I would fucking love Majima. Majima actually would probably be more fun in Tekken, in all earnesty.
Sure. I just want Kiryu though. I feel like it's the prophecy is destined.
It's gotta happen. He needs to be in a fighting game.
All right. Majima for Tekken would be better in my opinion. So,
Yeah.
And then
His insanity meshes well with Tekken.
let's see. Basically, she's a monster hunter that would be a cool parallel to Hellboy.
Who's that in reference to?
The one that you don't know.
I'm gonna guess because the one I don't know is Erica Slaughter.
Okay.
And then the one I need clarification on is Jinx. Are you talking like Jinx from DC Comics, maybe? Or something else?
So then we also got Omni-Man.
Yeah, we got Omni-Man and Rash. And a fun choice here, honestly. I don't know how I feel about them being in a fighting game, but Conquer.
Conquer would just talk shit to you the entire game, which is hilarious.
That's fair.
Jinx of League of Legends.
Jinx from League of Legends. Gotcha.
Okay. Now read out those HMs though.
Yeah, and then Hellboy is the last one of
Hellboy, right.
that. Yeah. We got some honorable mentions with Earthworm Jim, Link, TMNT. So I'm gonna guess just all the turtles. Shredder, Bebop, Negan. Fuck off.
I would love that.
That's there for the meme. I know that's there for the meme. 2B, Spawn, Chai. What the fuck? We're just gonna have some tea in here, or is that a character I don't know? Shovel Knight, Spectre Knight, Batman.
Big B Wolf
B
would be
Wolf.
sick. I've never linked that. That'd be great.
Adam Smasher. I almost read that as Adam Sandler. And Professor Layton.
Try from Hi-Fi Rush. That's a game that David needs to play still.
It's probably not gonna happen if it's actually a rhythm game,
It is a rhythm
like
game.
we've talked about.
Yep.
Yeah, fuck that.
And Professor Layton.
I love rhythm games. I like actual rhythm games. Give me just a straight up like a fucking DDR or like a Taiko Drum Master, all over that shit. you give me like a weird hybrid of like, oh, you're playing
David's
an RPG,
brain.
but it's actually
It's
a rhythm
not
game.
they're
Fuck
bad.
off.
No, David's brain just can't handle multiple things at once. It's fine. You can admit that. It's okay.
No. And then we have DLC guest character list.
Iver said, I thought one rocker is enough with Scott Pilgrim.
That's fair. We got Hisui. I don't know who that's in reference to. Hikari. Candyman. Interesting. All right.
That'd be cool.
I dig it. Enchantress. All right. Waddlestein. Also not off the top of my head picking up that reference.
Little Mac.
Little Mac. All right. Tynho, another one I'm not off the top of my head picking up the reference for. And Nightmare. Interesting.
I like how all of our brains try to piece together what would be the ultimate, right? Because we didn't really consider too much rivalries. We considered kind of like bonds, like way you would know them, but not rivalry on the opposite end, I feel like.
That's fair.
Which I think is a fun way of looking at it too. I love this though. Earthworm Jim would be actually a really fun fighter.
Yeah, I could see it.
Oh man. I get excited for guest characters. I love guest characters and anything, dude. These character systems from games like Multi Blood, Lethal League, DNF Duel, Under Night in Birth, Soul Calibur, and Dems Fighting Herds, and Rumblefish. What about
Oh, that
Fight
explains
Crab?
why I haven't
Where is
played
Fight
most of
Crab?
those.
Give us the crab from Fight Crab.
Yeah, give us Fight Crab.
Uh,
Give us literal crab battle.
Candyman would be dope in a game though. Hell yeah. I love it. I wanna compile these all together and make like one massive list because I think that'd be fun. David, there's a trailer for you to watch for Like a Dragon.
Hell yeah.
You
I
guys could-
still need to finish getting caught up on that series.
in 17 years when there's more. All right. That's we're done now. Almost 3-hour episode. Look at us go. Monday,
yeah.
David. Once again, tease them with Monday. What's Sephiroth's quote? Okay.
Sephiroth said towards the end of the trailer, the reunion is where the universes merge.
Look at that. And then I probably just ask really quick, how would you rate each category?
You mean as in like each of the options you picked for each one?
Yeah, we should have gone through and rated real quick, huh? Give a 1 to 10 scale of each, just real rapid
Oh god,
fire.
I can't. No, let me pull it back up here.
I do want to own that because this is a lot of work and I appreciate this.
That's fair. Street Fighter cast, good, very good. I'm not doing numbers because I'm not gonna brain that. I'm not gonna brain that right now. But yeah, Street Fighter cast, no complaints there. Absolutely fantastic, good choices. King of Fighters cast, solid choices, interesting choices, a lot of out-of-pocket stuff. I agreed. I dig it. We got the Mortal Kombat cast. Would like to see a little bit more new blood in there. Otherwise, it's hard to go wrong with the Mortal Kombat cast.
Cage match.
The Tekken cast, fucking solid, perfect, beautiful. You did it. Good job.
Got like all of our characters in there. Hell yeah.
Yeah, you basically copied and pasted our homework. I don't know what to tell you.
No, Julia was not in ours,
That's fair. We did Yeeter from ours.
unfortunately. And we got Real King. I'm just gonna say that. I'm just gonna say it and leave it there.
It's true. Darkstalkers, Anita's the only one that I feel is a little bit of an odd choice. Otherwise than that, solid fucking cast. Marvel would have liked to see more characters that were actually in games. Otherwise than that, interesting choices. Then we got the Capcom side. Again, would have liked to see more characters that were actually in games. Otherwise than that, I mean, solid list, hard to go wrong. A little Resident Evil heavy though. All right, Skullgirls, beautiful fucking list. Like you literally can't go wrong with this
Big fan. Let's
list.
go.
Just wish that you could have found it in your heart to put Misfortune in there somewhere. Killer Instinct, solid list. Again, hard to go wrong with that cast. No complaints there. Guilty Gear. It's fucking Guilty Gear. There's no bad picks. No bad picks. I am also a little bit surprised that Bridget wasn't thrown in there. But you know what? You got Faust in there, so I can't say anything wrong. Blaze Blue. I like that you threw in Jubei. Good out of the pocket pick. I dig it. Otherwise than that, yeah, no, good options there. No problems. Where am I at? All right, last one here. This guest character list is on fucking cocaine.
How many
I
lines?
don't
How many
know what crack.
How about this? Is that you can't give 1 through 10 lists, but what would you do on how many lines were done to create that? 1 through 5.
I'm gonna say there was at least 4 whole cocaines that went into the making of the guest character list.
4 out of 5.
At least 4 whole cocaines. But otherwise than that, I mean, again, kudos for thinking a little bit outside the box on some of these picks.
David's like, I thought I was off.
I mean, I was working within restraints of just trying to pick characters that had already been in shit. Fucking Homeboy was like, nah, fuck that rule. I don't follow this rule. I'm making my own shit. And kudos to you. You came up with some good options because of that. But, yeah, fucking wild.
Exactly. I agree. Hey, like, I gotta be on coke to think, says Egg Pepperoni.
I understand. That's life sometimes.
Oh, Kyle's in the chat. Me and David would clash over FF7. I don't know about all that, he says.
I mean, I don't think we'll clash. I think there'll be some spicy takes. There will be spice. I have no doubt about that. But I don't necessarily think that we'll have a negative exchange of words.
This is fair. All right. Now we'll wrap that.
Wrap it before you love it.
Where's the live by? All right, we're wrapped out. All right, Monday. Glad to hear y'all enjoyed the Rochester. That was good stuff. I appreciate you putting the work into that. That was fun. Monday.
Now do it again for kart racing games.
Imagine. Do it again for all Nintendo games ever.
Make your own Smash Brothers roster next.
Yeah. You make as many characters, but you can't use any of the ones we've already used. Got pulled up from the ethers. Reunion, yeah. Stay tuned on Monday for us to talk about the reunion of universes.
Right.
All right, we're out stream. See you.
Bye.